Okay, so I have turned on the recorder. The time is now 9:45 a.m. I'm going to call the meeting of the Venetian Community Development District to order. Today is Monday, June 8th, 2026. The first item on the agenda is the call to order / roll call. Those supervisors that are present are Joe Pizarnik, Cheryl Tarana, Cindy Sneesick, and Rich Goodman. We do have Supervisor Ken Smaha with us via speakerphone. Supervisors, at this time, we would need a motion to allow Ken to participate and vote via phone.
I'll second.
Okay, so there was a motion. Motion by Rich, second by Cindy. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Thank you. On behalf of District Management is myself, Belinda Blandon. Field Manager Keith Livermore is present. Do we have anybody here from Hampton?
No, we chatted with him in the workshop, so we're good.
Okay. And for the record, we do have audience members present. Supervisors, unfortunately, Spencer was on his way here and he got into a car accident, so he will not be, he's fine. Just damages to his car, but he's not gonna be present. But I'll give an update on his report later during the meeting. The next item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before we move into public comment, just as a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to limit public comments to 3 minutes per person. You will be timed. We ask that you please stop at the 3-minute mark. There are a few comments that I do believe the board chair did want to make before we get started, or do we want to move into the employee recognition first?
Let's do employee recognition first.
Okay, Cindy, let's move into the employee recognition.
Okay, great, thank you. Shelley, Tyler, Jamie, Mary, can I have you come up here, please? Mary? Yeah. I actually have to read this because I can't do this without getting choked up. Mary, today we pause to recognize these 3 individuals, Jamie, Shelley, and Tyler, whose actions reflected compassion, courage, and humanity during an incredibly difficult time. When a sudden medical emergency occurred, they did not hesitate. In a situation that many might find overwhelming, Jamie, Shelley, Tyler stepped forward without question. They responded quickly, remained calm, and did everything within their power to help someone in need. While the outcome was ultimately one a loss, and I'm so sorry, their efforts mattered deeply. They ensured that the individual was not alone, that care, dignity, and compassion were present in a critical moment. Jamie, Shelley, and Tyler, your willingness to act, your strength under pressure, and your kindness in the face of uncertainty truly represent the very best of us. Your actions made a difference, and they will not be forgotten. I want to thank you so much for everything that you did for Mo. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Hang on a minute.
Okay. Morning. I think I probably know most of you. I'm Jill Pizarnik. I'm the chair of the CDD. I wanted to make just a couple of remarks before public comment. I know probably most, if not all of you, are here for the question about the fitness classes and the fees. And I wanted to make a couple of points just to be sure we're all on the same page. The first thing is the reason this whole issue came up now is because we're going through our budget cycle. Our budget cycle really begins officially with a high watermark budget, and that has to be completed for the county by June 15th. And then we have another 60+ days of discussions before we reach our final budget. So that's why it came up now. The second point I wanted to make is that the fitness classes are fully funded in that proposed budget. I think there was some misinformation around about that, so I wanted to be sure you all knew that. And then finally, just to say the discussions are going to be ongoing. So if you don't get the emails from Keith Livermore, our field manager, make sure you get the emails because all the agendas go out. So, we're going to continue to have these discussions. You can always come to our meetings. We meet every 2 weeks and we take public comment and we do want to hear from you. So, does anybody else want to add anything to that?
Yeah, they're also on YouTube for folks here. For folks that are not here, these are on YouTube and they're retained on YouTube. Belinda, I don't know for how long, forever. So they're always available for people to take a look at and review and see what's actually said in these meetings.
Yeah, and just maybe one more quick thing because there are a lot of you and it's a sunny day. If you, hopefully everybody who has wanted to speak, sign up. If you're not comfortable speaking in public or you, however that goes, you're welcome to just stand up and say, I agree with Susie or I agree with Bob. And that's fine too. As long as you've signed in, we know you're here and appreciate it. We want to hear from you. So let's let it rip.
Thank you, Jim. Our first speaker is Roger Efron.
Right here, Rod.
Good morning.
Morning.
About 14 years ago, part of the community association gifted benches to our community. As you know, there are 3 of them. Today, I personally would like to donate a bench. I have always had a passion for community, as you know, whether it was living in Cincinnati or in the community of the inner city schools where I was principal or any other place that I've resided. I've conferred with Mr. Livermore as to the place consistent with all the places that we have. This one will be in the alcove on Benito near the crossover from hole 9. There's a small alcove and it will face the lake as all of them, and it will also shade. I will pay for the building of the bench, the delivery of the bench, and the placement of the bench because they're so heavy, using the same company and same style that we've used in the past. I ask you, if I gift this, to maintain the area where it is placed and the overall condition of the bench. Interesting, none of the benches were destroyed during the hurricane or left this site. I don't think this deserves a vote. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it that way. This in the past has not deserved a vote because it is a gift, but rather your acknowledgement and direction to Mr. Livermore, who has inspected the site, to proceed as he has done so well in the past. Unless I hear differently, I've been in conference with the company. I will call them today, we'll pay for it, and we should have it delivered in about maybe 60 days.
Is that fine? Is there any procedural thing we need to know, Melinda?
I would just approve it via motion so that it's on record that you approved it and that you agree to maintain the area.
Okay. So I'm gonna make the motion and then.
I second it.
And then do we need to discussion on that? Ken?
I second it.
Okay. Yep.
I'm wonderful.
Thank you, Roger.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll start.
Great spot.
We need to vote, so I'm going to call the question. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Tim, you signed in twice. Was this for your report or general public comment?
I have general comment, but I also have Santa Maria information.
Okay. Our next speaker is Tim Carr.
Well, board members, I am glad that Greg is gone. Greg was rude, obnoxious, condescending, and took no responsibility for anything. All he did was blame everyone else. A true leader accepts responsibility and acts. When you are the general manager, everything is your fault because everyone works for you. That is what leaders do, not to pass the blame. The only accomplishment that Greg will be remembered for is driving the attendance away from this River Club dining room. He was very successful at that. As someone that is here almost every Friday, I saw it firsthand. Another monumental statement by Greg at the May 8th budget meeting when looking to hire more managers is that the staff won't work unless someone tells them what to do. Where is the extensive training by Hampton as promised during an interview for the position? That is a pathetic statement, and Hampton should be embarrassed it was ever stated. I am disappointed that Jamie from Hampton stated on June 4th that Hampton still does not know what we want. Did we ever have a follow-up with Hampton senior staff? Has there ever been a performance review? Hampton has been here since October of 2025. What is everybody waiting for? I disagree with charging for the fitness classes. I do not use them, but they are essential for some people, and I am willing to pay my share, and this has been done, historically done. In addition, I did listen to your workshop this morning, and I heard a lot of talk about whose lane is whose. You are all co-equal people on that board. Nobody has any power over anything else. However, if Mr. Goodman did not do his research, which this board pushed back on, we would still have Vesta here doing their mismanagement of our funds. Thank you. All right, my Santa Maria comments. Thank you, Keith, for fixing the Santa Maria monument. What is the status of the ponds? We are seeing bulrush making its way across the pond on Treviso. The residents there on their own accord are having a third party visually inspect the pond and make recommendations. We are also seeing dead grasses start to accumulate at the shoreline. Will this be mitigated before the odor starts like last year? Who will attend to the ponds now that Mr. Smarthard is out of town, or will he be returning to oversee this maintenance? The cul-de-sacs do not look good. New plantings do not enhance the appearance of the cul-de-sacs. Has this been reviewed by the board for accuracy of the work that was contracted for? When will the ornamental grasses behind the homes on Treviso and Balanza be maintained? This was asked in October of 2025 with no answer. What is the schedule for this work? Is there a schedule to complete the sidewalk work in the Santa Maria? There are still many outstanding issues with raised sidewalks and drainage gutters, as well as some holes in sidewalks. Also, there is a raised sidewalk on Veneto that is dramatically raised, maybe an inch or more. That is a tripping hazard. Thank you. Do you want my facilities report now?
Let's hold off, Tim, because we have a lot of speakers.
Sure.
Our next speaker is Sue Nielsen.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sue Nielsen, and I have lived here for 11 years. I'm a family physician and a yoga instructor here at the Venetian. The only amenities I currently use is tennis and the fitness equipment. I bought here originally because the fitness classes were included in my CDD River Club dues. The price was high, but since all amenities were included, I was okay with that. I was okay that I was only going to take classes and had all these other things. That's just what it was. I'm here to advocate against charging extra for fitness classes. This has been tried before, found to be unpopular, difficult, contentious, and eventually abandoned. I hear the argument that if you want a tennis lesson, you have to pay for it. I understand. However, fitness classes are a much different beast. It's not comparable. We can play tennis without an instructor at any time. We need instructors for balance, strength, or yoga classes to do them safely. If you want personal training, people can pay extra for one-on-one time with a trainer, just like you can hire a tennis pro. In addition, charging for classes contains a hidden cost of collecting that money. Please consider the cost of maintaining the tennis courts and subsidizing the restaurant, which is so much more money. I hear we're subsidizing the restaurant by hundreds of thousands of dollars. If the River Club had a mission statement, I hope it would read something like this. The amenities are here to keep the residents healthy, physically, mentally, socially. I found a purpose statement online that includes it's supposed to promote the safety and enjoyment of all users of the River Club. There is scientific evidence that yoga and fitness classes support a broad range of health benefits, including physical, mental, and psychosocial benefits. It builds community, just like tennis does. Most importantly, it improves general health and quality of life, with one key benefit, which is fall prevention. We know how important that is as we age. Here's the important caveat, which aligns with your stated purpose of the River Club: safety. Yoga and group classes are generally considered safe, but adverse events, primarily musculoskeletal injuries and increased back pain, can occur. Appropriate instruction and style selection are important to minimize the risks. This has been proven in the scientific literature. If the CDD truly values our community, it would allocate the budget appropriately to accommodate all activities, as individuals have different capabilities. Some can't play tennis, others don't like lifting weights. The residents who want these classes, it's very important to them. It's maybe the only thing they're doing for themselves, for health-wise. They mean a lot to these people. Subsidizing food to such a giant extent, which often isn't healthy food, does not promote physical health. I would never advocate for taking it off the amenities list. It provides a lot of socialization. But I think you can adjust the budget to subsidize food less and support the business center classes that people do not have to pay for them.
Let me just make a point about the applause. We're all gonna be here longer. I get it. I get it. You wanna participate, but please consider that it's all gonna take us longer to hear from each one of you if it's punctuated with.
I just wanted to add to that, Joe. Ladies and gentlemen, we are recording this meeting and we're broadcasting it live via YouTube. It's very difficult to transcribe. We are gonna ask that you hold off on the applause. I understand that everybody wants to, applaud some of the comments, but because we have 4 different recording devices on, we ask that you please hold off. All right, moving on. Our next speaker is Steve, is it Heffler or Heller?
Heffler.
Thank you.
Good morning, Dr. Steve Heffler. I'm over on Padova Way. First, I want to acknowledge you folks. You're the ones who put your butts in that chair. You're making the decisions, and it is very difficult to do that. And I don't think people appreciate you, and so I want to acknowledge you for doing what you're doing. The vast majority of the 2,000 people in this community just come down here to retire and do nothing. We have an opening on the POA board, a vacancy. We have 2 people who are running, you 2 are running for election unopposed. I think the fact that you don't get enough acknowledgement, I think speaks volumes and people come to bitch and moan and complain. And I'm sorry, Cindy, that you felt disrespected during the fitness committee meeting. That was not the intent for most of us. They were just upset about the whole issue. People are going to talk about class fees, so I'm not. I want to talk about 2 other things. Although Tim Carr mentioned some things about the departing general manager, the fact is we have had 17 general managers in the past 22 years and multiple management companies. We are the common denominator. I think what we have to do as a community is look at ourselves, do an intensive exit interview to find out what's going on and remedy the situation. Now, I know you want to spend $1.8 million to renovate the bar. I'm not a drinker. I don't come to the bar very often, so to me, it's moot. But if that's what the community thinks should be done, and in fact, I think there should be a poll for the community, because if you look at the record, and I know you folks have only been in supervisors for a certain length of time, but look at all the redos. I've been here 10 years. There have been at least 7 redos of projects. For example, the speed bumps. They were first put across the entire road, then they were cut back. The tree in the roundabout in front, the front entranceway, Veneto off Laurel. How many times has that been replanted and replanted? with trees and plants. So somebody is missing the boat, and that's where, and the tiki bar. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Heffler. Our next speaker is Mark. I'm not sure if it's Henry.
Mark Legg.
Okay, sorry. 214 Treviso Court.
Mark Legg, 214 Treviso Court. I want to thank the board, first off. If you're in a seat and you're doing a job and you're going to make mistakes, and that's a given. Everybody makes mistakes. When you make mistakes, you got to fix them. If you do nothing, you're never going to make a mistake. And that ties into my next thing, the landscaping on the cul-de-sacs. It's horrendous. I live right across from one. Every day, I'm very active, and so is my wife. We're in and out all day. I have to look at this thing 10, 15 times a day. It's horrible. The tree lists at like 30 degrees. It's way over. And it's been held up by 4x4s for 3.5 years that we've been here, or 3.25 years. So I'm just asking that you please do something about the landscaping in the cul-de-sacs. My next thing is, yeah, you made mistakes there, I think.
Say that again.
And just thanks for what you do, because without you, we wouldn't have anybody up there. And I'm not in favor of charging for the fitness classes. And the bull rushes, to reiterate Tim's, on the lake, they are getting pretty bad. Just thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Marcia Lipster.
Okay, I live at 210 Martalago, and
Speak right into it.
I live at 210 Martalago, and I originally was going to talk about tennis and how you really can't compare it to the water aerobics, but Denise did a very good job. So I think it was Denise, right? So I don't want to continue what she's saying, but I want to say that I am against the fees for fitness classes. I feel that it was an amenity that we were told was going to be part of our community. You can't really compare the fitness classes to like tennis instruction because it's one-on-one. Fitness instruction helps the community. As far as I take water aerobics, and again, the logistics of having to pay for it and charge people in the pool seems very ridiculous and very hard to do. And I think, as you can see, most of the people here, I'm assuming, are against the fees. We've been down this road before, and we agree that this is something that we feel are part of our community and adds to the value of our home and the cohesiveness of our community. Not everybody takes advantage of the dining room, but of course it's subsidized. And we feel that this tennis and fitness center should be the way it is. People can play on the courts for free, you can use the ball for free, but lessons are different. So I would hope that you would listen to the people here that have voted you in, and we really feel that we do not want any fees. Thank you.
Thanks, Marcia.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marcia.
Our next speaker is Tony DeMeo.
Good morning, everybody. I want to thank your board for doing a good job because I'm on another board, the POA, so I know what you're going through. Nobody wants to volunteer. We have 3 beefs today. Number 1, Tim made it very clear, the ponds look horrendous. Okay, the monuments look horrendous. I know we're going through a drought, but now's the time to take care of the grass. Get rid of it. When we're down. You go on to Dover, that thing's sand. And it's starting to smell. Okay, as far as fitness classes, I don't take fitness classes. I'm too busy doing other things. But you know what? When I moved here 11.5 years ago, it was part of the amenities. And it should be free, as it always has been. Okay, I don't play tennis, but if I want to take a lesson, I'll pay for it. Okay, you're going to see me on the tennis court either. All right, basically, I'm running around all day long taking care of all the problems that nobody wants to do. Okay, All I'm asking is be a little more prudent with our money. $1.8 million for a bar that only serves like 20% of the community is ridiculous. When they renovated this place in 2016, they still haven't got the AC right. And that was an assessment. Now you're gonna add 1.8 million? Is that gonna include new AC for the whole place? How about the roads that are now deteriorating? They're 22 years old. They're at their lifespan. That dirt and sealing you guys did a couple of years ago, most of you weren't on the board, was a waste of money. It damaged my car, okay? And I have a collector car. It took me hours to get it clean again. All right, basically, all I'm asking is a little prudent, and be a little more careful with our money. That's all I'm asking. I'm not for the bar. I'm for the fitness fest being free, and I'd like to see these cul-de-sacs be straightened out, but they're all dead. On my block, there's two, one on Tiziano and one over on Metro Place. They look all right. They're dying. And I think you should do these landscaping things when we're not in a drought also, so we don't waste money again. Or fix the irrigation before we put the plants in. It was a joke. The front entrance was a joke. They did all that landscaping, all that money. I understand part of it was guaranteed, but I don't know it's guaranteed. Why wasn't the irrigation addressed first as part of the landscape? That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Sherry Sosa.
Good morning. I am the Fitness and Pool Advisory Committee pool lead. Every day, neighbors are here working out, swimming, laughing, and supporting each other. This is when they see their friends and participate in classes that motivate them to move. Now imagine empty pool and studio classes because a fee prompted lower participation. Our current classes make it possible for those on fixed incomes and those recovering from illnesses and injuries to participate. Adding a fee will be a barrier for them. Classes are social lifelines, reducing isolation and fostering friendships. When people feel connected, they support Venetian activities. The River Club Dining Room, the Tiki Bar, and the La Sala Bar have experienced attendance with fitness friends socializing and spending money. Lower class participation will likely impact this revenue stream. Keeping classes fee-free attracts potential residents looking to buy here. As homes age, keeping our classes intact becomes more important. It is a selling point that sets Venetian apart from others, so the cost of classes should be viewed as an investment. Administratively, the pool will be difficult to monitor and ensure everyone is accurately accounted for. Sometimes classes cancel midway due to weather. Many times there are members and guests in the pool who don't participate. Other times, members and guests participate without signing up. Last month, the committee was blindsided when asked for solutions to cover instructor costs. In December, we agreed to cancel low-usage classes. In January, our CDD liaison, Cindy, stated that we should not cancel classes but change classes. In March, we learned that canceling low-usage classes would wait. In April, we looked at cutting summer classes due to a lower budget. We were informed that classes would not be cut but only canceled when instructors are absent or on vacation. The solution to cut low-attended classes in December would already be saving us money. In January, we learned that hiring a pool attendant was budgeted. I spoke with several members and heard, "We don't need one." I shared this at the next meeting. The response was, "We need one year-round and the search will continue." I believe a pool attendant is not necessary, and the money's been saved already since we haven't had one since last fall. In closing, why would the board support a divisive change that never succeeded in the past? Keep classes fee-free and consider the solutions. Also, I do have a handout that I'd like included in today's minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Lillian Serrano.
Thank you, everyone. I pass. I agree with everything that's been said. I don't want to repeat it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Leonora Mandriano.
Okay. Hi. substantial number of residents came together and watched your last budget meeting or budget workshop the week before. It concerned me that one of the CG members said she really didn't care if people stopped going to classes. I've been to a few meetings now and have heard her say she would prefer to have Peloton bikes in that room. Good for you if you can exercise and are healthy enough and do not need any assistance from a trainer. My question is, where are we getting the money for Peloton machines? I don't believe any of you on the board actually go to fitness class. I really do not think you quite understand the impact of the fees. If you vote to impose these fees today, understand exactly what you're about to unleash. You will alienate the residents who are on fixed incomes, forcing them to stop going to classes that keep them healthy, active, and out of the hospital. You will also kill the livelihood of our fantastic instructors, driving them away and leaving us with an empty room, or worse, a room of Pelotons. The instructors are so important, especially for us who have medical issues and are unable to do all the exercises. But we have the trainers that will show us the right way to do the exercises so that we don't further complicate an injury. Can you explain to me how a Peloton bike in the fitness room is going to help those people? And who's going to watch over us, knowing that we do it right and don't get injured? Remember, the residents that fill these classes are the very heart of the River Club. We are the residents that go straight from the pool, the aerobics room, into the dining room, the tiki bar, to special events, spending our money and driving our revenue. Locking residents out of the studio. Lost my thing here. Locking residents out of the studio will lead you to locking them out of the club. They will kill the entire social aspect of classes. We have elected the people on the CDD to look out for our best interests of this residents of this community. You have let us down, even by bringing up charging for fitness classes. We have been down this road before, and it causes division between the residents of the community and the CDD. Just remember, when it comes time to vote, we will remember the CDD board. Thank you.
Thank you. Just for the purpose of clarification, supervisors, based on some of the comments that I've heard, the board is not approving a final budget today. This is just the proposed budget. And the fitness fees were not removed from the proposed budget. So I want to be sure that the audience members understand that. The public will have the opportunity to attend the public hearings for the final budget, but this is just proposed today. So what the board is going to be considering today is a proposed budget without reductions on fitness fees. I just wanted that to be on the record because I think there's some confusion. This is not the final public hearing for the budget.
No, thank you for that. It's fully funded. Also, I don't know where the Peloton thing came from, but we're not discussing, we're not discussing, I understand. I'm just saying to you, we're not discussing Pelotons. Nobody's talked about Pelotons. I signed the bills in here. I haven't seen anything for Pelotons, I assure you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Joyce Olson.
Good morning, board members and staff, and thank you all for serving our community by being on the board. I appreciate that. I reside at 278 Martelago Drive. I'm a 7-year resident. I am here in strong opposition to the proposed user fee model targeting studio fitness classes and water aerobics. The board was created under Florida Statute Chapter 190 as a specialized unit of local government, not a commercial health club. Your mandate is to maintain community-wide infrastructure for collective benefit. Our fitness studio and pool programming are not optional add-ons. They are core infrastructure. Every resident already pays a mandatory operation and maintenance assessment to fund them. Charging a second fee for access to what residents already fund is double taxation. It breaks the covenant made with every homeowner at point of purchase that O&M assessment guarantees open access to community amenities. It also threatens the bundle resort style programming that promotes our property's value in a very competitive Florida market. One final point. Effective July 1st, 2026, Senate Bill 1180 subjects resident elected CDD supervisors to formal recall procedures. The legislature passed this unanimously to hold special district boards accountable to constituents. Forcing through an inequitable fee structure against your voting constituents puts you directly in the crosshairs of that law. I want to be clear that this community is paying attention, is organized, and has a long memory when it comes to elections. You have the opportunity today to listen to your constituents. Fulfill your statutory duty under Chapter 190, preserve our bundled operations, and drop this proposal. I request the statement and my formal objection be entered into the official public record of this meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Margaret Hunter.
Hi, good morning. We purchased a home in 2005 and understood when we bought into this community that we were buying into a resort lifestyle that included fitness classes, tennis, pool, recreational facilities and so forth. The fitness classes are not just about the wellness and the health, but also about the socialization and meeting other women in the community. I can say for myself that everyone that I have met through going to fitness classes are friends of mine, and we socialize together, we do a lot of things together. A large group of whom support, a large group of are here today. We support the restaurant and bar at almost every event. And is the final gain of like 12, 15, or 30,000? I mean, we heard different numbers thrown around at the last meeting, and looking at the YouTube video, is it worth creating the turmoil that this is causing? In 2015, when classes were charged for, it was a disaster. It created a lot of divisiveness, and we're a very congenial community. I mean, I have new neighbors that moved from around the corner, essentially, that I went over to welcome, and they said there are other communities where people are just so unfriendly. The fitness classes really helps people meet new people in this community. I think we all understand that living here cost us a lot, in that we have one of the highest CDDs in this area. And we can't pick and choose what we should pay for. We all pay for everything, whether we take advantage of them or not. Cindy, at the last meeting, you mentioned that no classes were being cut in the off-season. Why would we not cut classes in the off-season? We have it every other year. We should not have classes at any time of the year, for that matter, that have 3 people participating in a class. It's kind of not business sense. Maybe that needs to be revisited as a way to possibly recoup some funds. I think in this community and the board at the moment, we have a lot of more important and bigger issues that we could focus on and, spend our energy trying to fix other things that need fixing. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Connie Warren.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Connie Waring, and I'd like to offer some historical perspective regarding the proposal to charge fees for fitness classes. A lot of this has already been said, so I'll kind of go through it pretty quickly. As you know, the fitness classes have been part of the community since the River Club was opened back in August of 2004. Fitness classes were included as part of the amenities funded through resident CDD fees from the establishment of the club until 2015. That practice continued even after the control of the CDD transition from developer WCI to a resident-led board in 2008. History is important because this is not the first time our community has considered charging residents to attend fitness classes. In 2015, the Board of Supervisors implemented fees for indoor fitness classes. Residents expressed significant concerns about the change at that time, and participation declined after fees were introduced. For some residents, even modest fees can become a barrier to participation. In 2019, the board reversed that decision and returned to the long-standing practice of including fitness classes as part of the amenities funded through our CDDs. It's also important to note the proposal before the board today goes further than the 2015 policy. At that time, fees applied only to indoor fitness classes. The current proposal would extend fees not only to indoor classes, but also outdoor fitness classes and water aerobics that our residents have enjoyed as amenities funded through CDD fees for nearly the entire history of our community. For over 2 decades, residents have paid CDD fees with the understanding that fitness programming was one of the many amenities funded collectively by our community. The residents who attend these classes are not asking for a new benefit. They are simply asking to continue receiving a long-standing amenity that has existed since the River Club was established. Finally, I believe it's important to consider the precedent being set. If a long-standing included amenity can be converted into a user-paid service, what amenity might be next? I respectfully ask the board to remember the lessons of 2015 through 2019. Our community has already experienced both approaches and ultimately chose to return fitness classes to the list of amenities funded through our CDD fees. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. and Mrs. York, you're both signed in. I'm not sure who's going to speak.
Hi, I'm Linda York. I live at 165 Medici Court Terrace. And I've lived here 5.5 years. And I prepared something that, you know, the reason that we chose the Venetian, we both retired at the same time, came from Indiana, we're looking around at multiple communities. And we chose this community basically for the lifestyle and the amenities. And in those amenities were multiple things that we wouldn't use. We subsidize, as other people have said, the restaurant, the tiki bar, the tennis courts, now the pickleball courts, the swimming pool, the lanes, swim lanes, and the fitness classes. We bought in here primarily for all of that, with knowing that the CDD fees were some of the highest in the county. I've heard that they're the highest. So we aren't complaining about that. We're happy to pay that for all the amenities, but we subsidize everything. And the thing that I use most is the fitness classes. It was sold to us that the fitness classes were at no cost. They're very convenient. We could all go to the Y if we wanted to and probably pay less if we start charging. But we don't want to, because as others have said, this is our social outlet as well. We socialize with these people, and we moved here during COVID. That was the only place to meet people. And coming from a different state, it was very difficult to meet people. So that's my point. I'm agreeing with everybody else. The other point that I have is my understanding, and I might be a little bit off on this, but the board, there is a liaison from the board to the fitness committee. And the fitness committee is the one that makes the recommendations or gives input or whatnot, and they represent us. And I feel that fitness committee does talk to all of us, and they do listen to us, and they bring ideas. But I feel right now that whoever the liaison is not listening, and it feels like we're being targeted or whatever. And if you look at $12,000, seriously, $12,000 in a $2, $3, $4 million budget is a net. I mean, if we're concerned about $12,000, we have a lot bigger fish to fry. But I do want to thank you all for serving, for volunteering, and we did vote for you. So we hope that you listen to us and represent our feelings as well. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Barbara Thrine.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm here to express my strong opposition to the proposal to charge fees per class for exercise and water aerobics. I've resided in the Venetian Golf and River Club for almost 13 years. Since we joined the community, complimentary fitness fees have been a core amenity, fully covered by our annual fees. The indoor pool classes have been vital to my overall physical and mental well-being, and I currently rely on them actively, attending 10 classes a week. If the CDD's intent is to balance the budget, I strongly urge you to reconsider this approach and look for alternative ways to save costs or generate revenue. Like many residents here, I live on a fixed retirement income. A new per-class fee would create a significant financial burden, forcing many of us to drastically cut back on our classes or abandon them entirely. It's disheartening to think that our health routines could be compromised by budget shortfalls. I'm certain there are other areas in the budget that could be trimmed, and many residents would be happy to collaborate and share our ideas. Furthermore, implementing these fees could backfire, creating a downward financial spiral rather than resolving a deficit. I was here in 2015 when the similar fees were temporarily put in place. It caused immense stress, anger, and divisiveness among the residents, and the fees were ultimately revoked. We should learn from that history rather than repeat it. It's also important to recognize that the men and women who regularly attend these classes are the exact same residents who consistently support the River Club financially. We dine at the restaurant, attend the special events and parties, and frequent the tiki bar. We love our club. We are the vibrant, active members who set the tone for what the Venetian Golf and River Club lifestyle should be. We are the ones who proudly bring our family and friends here on a regular basis. Alienating loyal residents through the financial strain of class fees would be a major deterrent to the community's overall success. Please reconsider the far-reaching impact of the proposal you have, and recognize the immense value these fitness programs bring in keeping the Venetian River Club a premier place to live. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Betsy Oden.
Yes, good morning. The entire argument for imposing fitness fees.
You gotta talk close to it.
Okay, thank you. The entire argument for imposing fitness fees rests on the claim that 91% of the community shouldn't subsidize a service used by only a 9% minority. But this community's financial structure is entirely built on shared subsidies. Our dining room operates on a massive 6-figure operational subsidy funded by the assessments of every single resident here, whether they eat there or not. If we establish a rule that no resident may subsidize an amenity they don't personally use, we must immediately dismantle the dining room's funding. To target only fitness classes is a glaring double standard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Kathy Wachowski.
Good morning. My husband Gary and I moved in here exactly 1 year ago as of last week. So we did not have the opportunity to vote for any of you, but we do appreciate you and value this board. When we came to move to this area, it came down to 2 homes for us. The other home was in Pelican Point. Homes were pretty equal in size, age, but it was this neighborhood that led us to make our decision. It was the quality and the all-inclusive amenities here at the Venetian. That's why we live here. Personally, participating in these fitness class has been a huge, huge advantage for my social, mental, and physical health. It's very valuable to me. During a May Fitness Board committee meeting, it was explained by the CDD Fitness Committee liaison that $12,000 was needed to be recouped as a result of the fact that the fitness instructors were given a $5 per hour increase. I then watched the June 4th trim meeting budget planning, where it was then suggested that $30,000 be added to the trim budget to recoup the costs. And then actually $60,000 was suggested. And then $15,000 would be okay. Most of the members of the board, however, agreed to tabling the topic for a time when there could be further discussion. So no disagreement. I'm wondering, as a new resident, is anything else being looked at to balance our budget? We've all mentioned the huge subsidies that the club and the restaurant, the kitchen get. Singling out those of us that choose to participate in these classes, it's just inequitable. There's always a tipping point for potential homeowners to invest in a neighborhood. Speed bumps and cheapening your brand is not one of them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Lisa Ronner.
First, I wanted to just mention that my little spiel here is based on the meeting that was already previously mentioned. And as a former athlete, I was quite surprised and taken back to hear that this activity is being considered to start charging for, because I think anyone who is physically active on a regular basis would feel a little bit more compassion for the other people that are doing it as well. And I believe that that's why you chose to be that representative. The fitness representative is somebody who's supposed to fight for the fitness people, as opposed to consider how to, squeeze out a little bit more money. There are so many other avenues to make up for that money. What you love and what you do reflects everybody here who's speaking about the water aerobics. I will continue to say that I do appreciate the time that you're spending. This is a volunteer position, but at the same time, it's a volunteer position that you represent us. And as the representatives, you have to speak to what we actually want. This issue matters deeply, not just to me, but to many of the residents who voted you here in this capacity in the first place. Group fitness classes and water aerobics are far more than casual recreation. They're a form of ongoing senior stamina, strengthening the core and improved balance, key factors in preventing falls and maintaining our independence as in the senior community. By supporting these programs, as opposed to considering them for a chop and block every time there's a financial fiscal discrepancy, is considered so unfair to this community. I would have to say that limiting the risks of liability and the stronger that your members of the community are, will also prevent further injury. This translates to fewer incidents and accidents and reduces liability. You have to safer and stronger. On a personal note, I've been dealing with a terminal illness health challenge for the past 5 to 6 years that make it difficult for me to even walk from the parking lot to the community center to attend these classes. Me, someone who has run marathons and participated in adventure races. However, through the water aerobics program that goes on here and the fitness classes, I have been able to contribute and attend so much more and take advantage of the amenities that this place provides, that before I moved here, I was not ill, and so that's what I was expecting. And I'd like to see-
Thank you. Your time is up. I'm sorry.
I'd like to be entered into the
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Carol Lieberman.
Good morning. I have lived here for less than 1 year. This decision matters far beyond the cost of a fitness class. WCI had a vision for this community 20 years ago, and that vision is what sets us apart and attracts new residents and protects our home values in a market where buyers have unlimited choices, and we're here to protect that. This board's position is that only a small number of residents use instructor classes, and those residents should pay that cost. Our response is simple. We are a community of 1,377 homes. At any given time, a percentage of residents use any or none of the amenities. Yet, we all agreed when we purchased our homes that we would fund them collectively through the CDD fees. That is how WCI established our bylaws. Every resident funds every amenity regardless of individual use. Our bylaws make no provision for singling out one group. On the contrary, they establish equity as the founding principle of this community. And yet we are here discussing whether to charge for instructor-led classes. They make no distinction between the room and the classes. They call it an amenity. Dismantling the program in place for many years sets a precedent this community will regret, particularly when we must stay equitable, marketable, and competitive to protect our home values. Perception matters. We want the Venetian to thrive, not retreat from the standard that defines us. The impact of this decision goes beyond the fees. The residents who attend classes are the same residents who patronize the River Club. Charging for classes reduces attendance, reduces dining room and social event revenue. Has the board modeled that financial impact? Apply the same logic to the proposed La Scala renovation. Should only residents who use La Scala pay for that renovation? Do you see where this leads? Inequity. Inequity applied selectively is still inequity. It leaves us with unhappy residents and no real savings. We gathered and watched a June 4th budget meeting. It was disturbing. The projected savings for charging for classes, we were told, was $45 per household annually. That is 12 cents a day. Is that fiscally responsible logic? A $45 savings per year is not worth jeopardizing the value of this community and creating all this turmoil. In addition, our POA website says fitness class with professional fitness classes, fitness center with professional fitness classes. The word professional matters. A class is only professional when it has an instructor leading it. Remove the instructor and by the POA's own definition, the amenity ceases. We ask every board member to keep this in mind. Every action has a reaction. This decision is beneath the standard this beautiful community was built on. Submit the trim budget with the $60,000 line item for the fitness classes. These represent the residents. I'd like this to be part of the minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Sue Fusselman.
Good morning. I have been a resident, full-time resident for 10 years, and I have never presented myself before the CDD. But I want to speak on this topic of charging for these fitness classes. I take about 4 classes per week, year-round. If the CDD wants to consider charging for each fitness class, then let the fitness committee present ideas and/or a proposal for how they want to contribute to the cutting of the budget. Work with the new lifestyle director. Let them advise the CDD team. They know the program best. That is why this advisory committee exists. They know what the residents want. If you charge for each class, then you must be consistent. You must charge for indoor and outdoor, unlike what we did years past. Keeping track of members who have paid and who haven't for classes will likely be a challenge for the instructors, especially the outdoor classes. If I'm going to pay for a class, then I want to be guaranteed a spot.
Residents won't be happy if they are being charged, then can't get in due to lack of space, since our room is limited to 18. Or if perhaps you are not quick enough online when we have to get online every Sunday evening to sign up. If I'm not quick enough and I don't get signed up, then I'm being charged and I'm not able to get in. Our lack of space compounds this issue. Charging limits access even more. Creating a barrier for fitness program usage will guarantee, a drop-off of participation, and fewer residents will enter the River Club. I've heard members say that it's important for people to get through the door. This should be a goal, and I agree with that goal, but this proposed idea will do the opposite. The classes are an expense. Tennis courts, pickleball courts, these are expenses. They aren't free either. But we've all decided to share the costs because we want our neighborhood to be highly appealing. This is important to many of our residents, and the failure we experienced with charging in the past should be proof enough that charging would be problematic. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you. Our next speaker is, I'm not sure if it's Miss or Mr. Doze, 249 Mar-a-Lago. Is it Kia? Kim? Thank you.
Hi, so I had a prepared statement, and I'm not going to go off of it right now because everybody has made exceptional points here, and I second every single one of them. They've all made very personal and communal advice as to how they feel this should go. I know it's not easy to sit on a board, and thank you for sitting on the board. You're never going to make everybody happy. But I think it's very clear here that going down charging fees for the fitness classes is not a viable option that's going to go over well. And so I also support no fitness class fees. The doctor, I think it was Dr. Jill who spoke at the very beginning. I agree with a lot of what she said, and I actually had a lot of her thoughts on my statement and was going to expand on some of those thoughts, which I'm happy to share with any of you guys. I think a lot of people here are happy to share. There are a lot of other things that can be done. So I am against the fees.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Linda Crystal. (378) Padova.
Hello, thank you for letting me share my thoughts. I didn't really realize I was going to be speaking. This affects me professionally and personally. I will just start out with professionally, I am a realtor in this neighborhood, and every single sale they ask, are the fees included for the fitness? And I say yes. And that helps justify the high CDD cost. I am beside myself because the same people that I have recently sold a home to are now asking me because they heard about this meeting, and I assured them that this is probably just talk, but we will see what results. And then on a personal level, I have to tell you that I have worked 2 jobs full-time for the last 5 years, and I just retired from one, not the real estate, in hopes to utilize the classes. And as a single woman, it is very difficult to pay on top of the 3 fees an additional fee to participate in the classes. I have upcoming neck surgery. The classes I go to help with my pain level. I've met many new friends. It is so required for the Venetian to have a nice way to get out and do something good for yourself. Especially, I will say, the women. It's a known fact that women outlive men, and we need a place to go to keep our bodies healthy and strong and talk to other women. It's therapy right there. But I do thank you for this time, and I actually have to run to another meeting, and God bless.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Our next speaker is Marcia Flatt.
Get your steps in, Keith.
I need them.
Hi, I'm Marcia Heffler. I live at 487 Padova. We've been here for 10 years. And through those 10 years, we've loved the opportunity to meet people, make friends, and enjoy all the amenities that the River Club and the rest of the community provide for us. I want to echo everything that everybody else has said. You know, the fitness center, the fitness room, whether we pay for it in class fees or not, still needs to be maintained. Air conditioning, cleaning, et cetera, et cetera. So it will be sitting there, not being used, not being appreciated, with a lot of very upset and angry people in the community.
Thank you, Marcia. Thanks.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Danielle Rogier. (306 Padova Way).
I don't see her here.
Oh, is that her?
Is that her coming in? No, I don't think so. No.
Okay. Our next speaker is Maggie LaPierre.
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So my topic is a little different. My request is different. I live at 117 Mestry Place, and behind me is the preserve area, which right now looks like it's loaded with tinder, ready to spark up, packed in there. Recently, the landscaping crew, we have weeds like that tall that were green, and now they're brown because they sprayed them, and they look like kindling for the tinder that's back there packed. I'm going to request a fire risk assessment at my area, Mestry Place. I walked it yesterday with my camera, and it was it just got worse and worse as I went down. There's so much broken, dead tinder back there. So then I watched TV the other night, and Stony Brook, if you know that neighborhood, was on fire. And also that preserve area that they have there, 10 homes had to be evacuated. And it burned like 24 acres of beautiful land. So I'm speaking for my neighbors too that are medically and physically disabled, my house included, that could never just pick up their keys and walk out like those people were evacuated from their homes in a minute. We can't do that. I'm full of equipment and stuff. So I'm requesting a risk assessment. Maybe other areas have what they see behind them too. If there is a risk assessment, when is it done? And is it an annual thing? Is it a thing? So it's close to the home. It's loaded with tinder. I would like to know if we can check it out and see if we've got a problem here. That was a big fire. It took a long time, and it took helicopters getting water and coming in and putting those fires out. We have beautiful land. We do not want this. So that's my request. Oh, also, I was here Friday night and it was a blast. Every time you turn Keith loose in here, he can fill this place up. He could fill it up every night of the week. That guy knows how to throw a party and make everybody feel like it was just for them. So that's my request and my statement. So thank you.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Cindy Martin.
Good morning. Cindy Martin, 106 Mystery Place. I want to echo everything everybody said. I want to echo everything everybody said about the fitness fees. I agree. I have a couple ideas. How about if we charge everyone a higher CDD fee to make it equitable instead of just charging for fitness? Also, how about if we, to increase revenue, if we charged a monthly minimum and then more people would use the restaurant? Most country clubs charge a monthly minimum. Use it or lose it. Aside from that, I'd like to address the boardwalk degradation. We used to have a volunteer who kept such good care of the boardwalk. I don't know what happened, but it's going downhill. I think there's black mold in the interior boards. I'm not a mold specialist, but it needs some work.
Thanks for that, Cindy, because just so you know, that's the POA. It's part of our arcane. Yeah, just so go to a POA meeting.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Appreciate it.
Our next speaker is Mary Puleo.
Mary Palayo, Bella Vista Terrace. When the general fund, and you said earlier that the general fund currently will include the fitness package. And it's my understanding the fitness package includes the maintenance of the room, the staff, the scheduling, the equipment, the maintenance, and the sanitation. If we do away with paying the instructor salaries, we don't need any of the rest of that stuff. It'll just be an empty room. It's my understanding that the instructors were given a raise, the $5 hourly raise a few months ago during a previous general manager who must not have been very well supervised, or he wouldn't have just taken it upon himself to give everybody a raise. And that raise seems to be the amount of money that's caused this whole big old ruckus in the first place. I was here back when they charged for fees. It was a nightmare. If we do it again, I could see the divisiveness once again. You see people sneaking in. You see people standing on the sideline trying to get a free class without paying. And it's not fair to everybody else. I agree with the things that people said here today. I used to live in Sarasota, and I went to the YMCA, and I made all of my friends at the Y. Then I moved here to the Venetian, and for 1 year, I didn't go to anything. No classes, no anything. I drove to Sarasota every day to go to the Y, to be with my friends. Finally, I said, okay, I gotta give this a shot. And so I started going to the classes, and I will say that everyone that I am friends with in the Venetian, I have met through the classes. And it's through those friends that I participate in other special events here at the Venetian. Without those classes, for me, there'd probably be little to nothing left, any reason to be here. Thank you for what you do, but I also would like to thank you in advance for listening to the participants here today. This is very, very important to us.
Thank you, Mary. Appreciate it.
Okay. Our next speaker is Rose Canepa.
My name is Rose Canepa. I live at 294.
Rose, hold it close.
My name is Rose Canepa. I live at 294 Martelargo Drive, and I've been a resident for 13 years. I am here to address two closely related concerns. Protecting the fitness classes that have become a vital part of the life of the River Club, as well as defending the livelihood of the instructors who have helped build and sustain this program. For many residents, the fitness classes offered in our community are not simply an amenity. They're a source of health, wellness, social connection, and quality of life. Participating fitness residents play a vital role in supporting the financial health of our amenities. Residents who attend these fitness classes are often the ones that go to the pool, studio, and then to the dining room, la sala, and club events. We are among the most engaged and consistently bring significant revenue throughout the club. I am concerned that the actions being considered by the board could jeopardize the continuation of fitness classes as we know it today, and in turn threaten the livelihood of the instructors who provide them. Any additional fee policy changes creates financial risks and unintended consequences. While it may appear to generate revenue in one area, it may simultaneously discourage participation and alienate the very residents who contribute consistently. Recently, comments suggesting that our classes are become stale. That's concerning. Our instructors have consistently enhanced the fitness program by updating class formats, introducing new ideas, and adapting their instruction to our needs and interests. Such remarks appear to overlook the tremendous value that our instructors bring with their experience, longevity, and deep connection to the community. The popularity and the consistent attendance of these classes speak for itself. We must recognize that our instructors are not simply vendors or service providers. They are amongst the most valuable assets at the Venetian. Their income depends on the opportunities available to teach here. I respectfully ask the board to carefully evaluate the impact of any proposed financial changes and to seek solutions that maintain our fitness classes without additional fees while supporting the instructors. Protecting the fitness program means protecting the health and wellness of residents. Protecting our instructors means protecting the people who help this community stay vibrant and welcoming.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you. Keith, this is not working.
You want to take your? I'll share.
You're right about it.
Our next speaker is Gary Barber.
So my name is Gary Barber. My wife is Quay Barber. We live at 134 Remini Way. So today I want to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is, just look around. It's not often you have a meeting with this many people. And the reason you have a meeting of this many people is because they feel so strongly about this issue. Now, why do they feel strongly about this issue? Because when you go into the YouTube meetings, where you have all your budget meetings and your workshops and things like that, you see an attitude in those meetings that is not commensurate of the community. It does not show that you're representing the community. You have an agenda that's being expressed, and I'll say singularly by mainly one person that is very strong in the view, and it causes everybody in this room to be upset about it because they don't feel like they're being listened to. Great example of that is this morning. One of the things, like we talked about how nice it is to have you representing us on the board, and we appreciate all you're doing. I agree with that too, but at the same time, appreciation also comes with a job. And the job is to represent us, to represent our needs, to represent the community. And one of the things that happened today, I was watching Nora talking about making some comments and saying some things. Cheryl, you were very respectful. You were watching her, you kept a very calm face, you showed respect to her comments. Jill, you did the same thing. Rich, you did the same thing. You were very, very neutral in you didn't try to have an opinion or anything. Cindy, on the other hand, you were rolling your eyes, you were making little comments under your voice. I've been watching that this whole time. Now, you can say you weren't, we all saw it. And the bottom line here is, I'm not here to attack, I'm not. But what's happened is, and that's why I call this the elephant in the room, is you have a situation here where we have very strong concerns about fitness, the classes and everything that's involved. We want those, but there's arguments to all of it. And we want you to be open to talk about it. Most of you have already said, this is a bigger discussion we need to table. But I can't tell you, and it's all on YouTube, Cindy, all you need to do is go look. How many flippant comments you've made during those meetings. We talked about fees in the last booking, the last workshop. And you were saying, they're gonna talk about the charges, blah, blah, blah. You know, things like that. Those are the comments that get the community angry. That's the thing that's going on right now, and that's why I want to bring this up. Not because we're trying to cause a problem. Listen to us, really work with us. That's not being exhibited.
And our final speaker is Darlene Schimberg.
Do I really want this? Good morning, everybody. I want to tell you that I'm going to take the opposite side of this. I truly respect everything you've said, and I have listened very carefully to everything you've said, and I appreciate all of you being here and committed, but I do have a different viewpoint on it. There has been ongoing discussions regarding whether the classes should include a fee. I appreciate the thoughtful perspectives that you have shared, and it is clear that there is a common interest in preserving both the quality and accessibility of our community's programs. As a resident of more than 23 years, I recall that fees were once a part of supporting these offerings. Following management changes and the impact of COVID, this approach appears to have gradually shifted, possibly due to the challenges in reintroducing it or in response to resident feedback. As we continue this discussion, I believe we share a collective responsibility to ensure our amenities remain sustainable and continue to serve the best interest of our entire community. Now, the River Club opened in 2005, not in 2004. I worked for WCI for 10 years, so I know it was included in the amenities package. And I built here and bought a home in 2002. So I'm very, very familiar with what went on in our community. Here are my feelings regarding this issue. And while I respect your opinions, please allow me the same respect. If I take a tennis lesson, there is a charge attached to that class. If I take a cooking class, there is a charge attached to the cooking demo. If I use my credit card at this club to pay for my dinner, there's a fee to attach to that usage. There never used to be a fee, but they implemented a fee this past year of 2.5%, I believe it is. So that's something that was a change for me because I frequented the River Club 3 to 4 times a week. So that was a big issue. We built pickleball courts and spent over $300,000 to construct them. And due to engineering issues, legal costs, and materials, this was done for a minority of the residents who had to have them, and now they're empty for 75% of the time. We just refurbished the exercise room and its equipment for the use of those taking classes. That was probably over $100,000. These costs are spread out to all the residents of the community, not just those who participate in the classes. Times have changed and costs have increased, not only for salaries, but for maintenance as well. If I must pay for classes and credit card fees, the privilege of dining here, then I see no reason why a nominal fee to attend
Darlene, I'm
classes
sorry, your time is up.
could have any objections. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so supervisors, we're going to close out public comment at this time and move forward with our agenda. Before moving forward, could we just take a 10-minute break?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to go off the record and take a 10-minute break at 11:10 a.m.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Okay, we're getting ready to get back on the record. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Okay, supervisors, are we ready? Do we still have Ken?
Ken, are you still there?
I am.
Okay. So we are back on the record at 11:22 a.m. And just for the purposes of the record, District Engineer Rick Schapaker is with us and District Counsel Andy Cohen is with us as well. We are coming upon the 2-hour mark, supervisors, so we do have a lot of items still to cover on the agenda. So we're gonna move into committee reports, Facilities Advisory Committee. Tim did send an email with the report. Were there any questions, or Tim, did you want to speak on the report?
Well, there are a lot of items. I don't know if you've had the chance to read through them. A lot had to do with the kitchen equipment and how much money we saved by putting it out for bid off of Hampton's preferred vendor discounts. We received a much bigger discount from the same vendor. We do not need a fryer. Every vendor that walked the kitchen said, first of all, would take a major renovation to the entire cook line, probably in 30, 40,000, something like that. And our fryers can more than adequately handle our kitchen, even at its busiest times. Every vendor talked to the chef and Hampton staff, and they said these fryers, they told us the volume that those fryers can handle. So the conception that we needed an additional fryer was a complete falsehood. And obviously, we saved $7,000 off of Hampton's quote, $2,000 off a competing vendor's quote. Another vendor did not reply with a quote, even though they visited the site. At these meetings, Greg declined to attend, even though he was invited. We took exception to the June 8th budget meeting statement that it would take 5 years to catch up. Once we requested what the list was for 5 years, turned out to be misleading information, another one by Greg. And the staff has no ability to purchase anything. They can't get a can of paint. So that's delaying them fixing items.
That's being worked on.
That's being worked on. Will the River Club be closed at all this summer? Like it has in previous years, because it would help facilitate the kitchen upgrade if you go forward with that. And we also had a vendor come in to look at the kitchen ceiling. We ran that by Hampton first, and they agreed to bring the vendor in. We're waiting on that quote. The painting punch list is a big item. This painting of the River Club has had a punch list for months and months. At the last facilities meeting, Greg said he was unaware it was his responsibility to see this to completion. That is a complete lie. It is Hampton's responsibility. It has always been Hampton's responsibility. We walked that punch list the day they showed up. Matter of fact, Justin took a copious amount of notes, Justin, and put them in a shared drive for all Hampton employees to use. Who's going to oversee this going forward? Because it's still not complete, and I would hope that the vendor has not received final payment. Because that was another item that was told to Greg. Do not pay the final payment until the punch list is complete. So who is going to see that to completion? We need to put a point person on that. It's not going to be me, I can tell you that right now. So that's up to Hampton and the board. Obviously, Hampton does not have, we talked about they don't have tools. We were invited to the bocce meeting to express to them what a complete scope would be. So when they do their research, they can give you a complete report, not just what the bocce court itself may cost. We have a committee member that announced their resignation effective August. We need the board to put out an advertisement for that, and hopefully we can fill that position. The lightning protection, we asked Greg about lightning protection. He said that was what?
Oh, yeah.
He might be moving. He's working to move.
Yes, he has some personal issues and he's resigning effective August. Lightning protection, we asked Greg about if he was following up on that. He said that was denied by Jill. Excuse me. We also asked him about the potential electric at the tennis court canopies. He said that was denied by Jill. Haven't seen any information on it. So I did walk with the vendor, because I was here at the time, and he asked me to go with the Hampton staff and look at that issue. We discussed it in detail, but all I got back was it was denied by Jill. All right. A lot of items are on order, such as the pool lounges. The Connect 4 game obviously was fixed, but it's not going to last long. It's very fragile. And the locker room design and upgrade is still on hold pending La Sala final design. And are you still considering the employee lunchroom that we have discussed previously?
Lots of stuff on the list, thank you.
Right, you have all this in your email, plus the worksheet for the kitchen bids to review the numbers. Those bids have to be drilled down in detail before the job is physically awarded. We need to bring the vendors in and confirm every little item on those bids. Thanks.
Tim, one quick question. I looked at the two equipment bids,
Yes.
and thank you for getting further reduction. I didn't take the time to drill down into, what the install and, any other kind of extras that come
Well,
with it.
that's why we brought the vendors in to work.
Yeah.
It wasn't in Hampton's original bid, and that's why we had told Greg your bid is incomplete.
So did the committee vote on one over another? Did
No,
you
we
guys
didn't.
discuss it?
We asked Mr. Goodman to bring it to the board.
Okay, all right, I wasn't sure if there had been
No,
discussion.
we did not
on what's
recommend
there.
either one until we know that's moving forward, because the next time we bring them in, will be to drill down and make sure we have 100% complete job. Removal of the equipment,
Okay, I get it,
disposal, installation.
I get it.
Yeah, the intent was to vote on it not to exceed, so they can then go back to one of the
I
chairs
see.
to negotiate,
Understood.
finalize
Fair
all that stuff.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Fitness and pool?
You guys read it? Nancy's on vacation.
Yes, yeah.
Any questions?
No, I think we got it.
Okay,
No.
okay, great, thank you.
I just know that the pool swings have been on order.
The launch chairs?
The lectures,
Yes.
they're
Yeah.
coming in.
Yeah.
And also, actually, Greg did mention at the facilities meeting that 4 or 5 chairs looks like some kind of looks like somebody's used a spray that the chairs of now appear to be bleached.
Discolored.
So.
They're discolored?
Yeah, they're discolored, so,
Okay.
and then down by the feet area, it's like somebody sprayed something, so you can take a imprint of like legs and whatever. So we don't know if it actually bleached the chair or.
Were they able to clean it up? or
No,
do
because they won't
anything?
come out.
It won't come out,
No.
okay, so
Bill-
it's staying,
Bill-
it's staying,
Bill was at a meeting, he's aware of it.
Okay.
So, he questioned, maybe it's like a zinc oxide spray, but they were saying it doesn't appear to be that because it's not coming off.
yeah. it's
So
gonna
we actually asked Bill to see if, or Nancy, if they can call up Tropitone
Right,
to find out what could possibly cause that.
right.
stay.
Okay, thanks for doing that.
I wonder if it was some type of spray tan or something, I don't know.
But I know, but it shouldn't react with the material
No,
that's,
technically, yeah,
that
it should all
shouldn't
wash
react
out,
like that.
yeah.
So,
Oh, okay.
very, very
Yes,
curious.
right now. Okay.
Okay,
Social and dining?
Yeah, I apologize for not sending anything out. For some reason, I thought I was next meeting. But, that happens. We are continuing to appreciate and look at how Hampton is communicating with the residents on all the activities that we are having. CAT has made a concerted effort to have a variety of events that appeal to everybody. And we're also looking at the cost factor and seeing if we can relook at the costs that have been allocated to some of the events that we're having currently. That has been brought up a couple of times to me, and that'll be part of our social committee discussion on Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Also, I will tell you that we will be starting looking at what we want to do for luncheons next year, at the end of this year and the beginning of 2027. And are looking forward to trying to have some wine pairing dinners here at the club. We've asked for some menus so we can look at that, and that'll be something new for us to have wine tasting events where you have wines paired with each course. And we thought maybe people would enjoy that. We're going to try something. We're going for themed Thursdays, which are going to be what we used to have, like a Greek night, Italian night, you know, those types of things where we had where it included a 3-course menu. There's a lot of things that are coming up right now in the future, and I'll hopefully have a better report for the board next time, and I apologize for my lack of sending it to you ahead of time.
Thank you, Darlene.
Thank you. We're gonna move into staff reports. Spencer's not here. He did send me a message that the recent inspection report is available, so Carrie's gonna be emailing that out today to everyone. If there are any questions for Spencer, just send them via email and I'll forward them to him. Rick, do you have anything to report?
Yeah, when I drove in, I was discouraged to see the sidewalks were not completed. So while I was sitting here, I did reach out. He will be back on Thursday, and we'll resume the panel replacements and all that. So apologize, I didn't. I was thinking he would have completed that, but then I checked back to see that we not paid them for anything, so.
Okay. That's good.
And then on the manhole repairs that we had done at the last meeting, we talked about that, and I did go out there to agree with you guys that looks terrible. I mean, it just, for them to do the way they did that, I just didn't think they did the job with that. So I did reach out to them, and I asked them if they could come back and just clean it up. And typically the way I see a patch like that is they saw cut a square, and then they pull the asphalt out and they put it back in, but obviously they didn't do that. Well, they come back and said that they thought the job was just fine. And I said, well, no board member and myself feel that you did a good job with that. So they sent their owner and their manager out. They responded back and said, we come out here, we looked, and we think it's just fine. So I responded back, and I kept Belinda in the loop with all of that, and I told them, I said, you know, if that's the quality of the work we can see out of you guys, you know, any community I will represent, which is both CDDs, HOAs, I said, you'll never get any more work out of us. And Belinda responded back and basically said the same for the setup, and they didn't respond back. So if you ever come up with that, you know, come across the name, advance the asphalt, go someplace else.
Okay.
So that's really all I have.
What resolution, have we paid them?
No.
Andy, what resolution do we have? Do we have any resolution or any, I mean, short of the lawsuit, it's not like that. How much was the contract?
Well, the total.
12,000. It's like $12,000, something like that.
For more than just those patches, just those patches.
It was like $12,000 for the patches.
I thought it was more patches.
And some patches were better than others, so there's a couple.
Yeah. Because like the ones on Remini and a couple of other locations around Montaluna, they were fine.
The Sarah's not that great, Portofino, a lot of
Okay.
So maybe we can hold back on the patches that weren't great.
I don't know, I mean,
I'll work with Belinda and,
Let us know what you think.
yeah, see if we can do a demand letter.
Okay.
Okay.
Advanced asphalt, understood.
And you.
appreciate that, Rick,
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Rick.
invoice spending is for 9,000.
Yeah, I was thinking we were down under the 10, but the not to exceed, I think the not to
Cannot rely on
exceed
my
was around
memory.
12, but we ended up.
So, yeah, we won't pay it until Belinda and I have had an opportunity to review it for sure.
Okay, and that's all I had, unless anybody has anything for me.
Long morning for that, right?
I am going to
Sorry about
be,
that.
I'm gonna be out from the 11th to the 27th.
Hold that thought, because Ken wants, then we want to hear about your being goneness. What'd you have, Ken?
Well, I was just gonna ask, once those areas fade in and look like the rest of the street, is that less of a concern?
They will fade and they will match. It'll probably be another probably 3 months or so before they really blend in.
well, with the roadway, the asphalt surface on Portofino especially has got a lot of that white pebble in it. So it's, it's got red pebble and shell, so it's the black, no matter how much black fades, it's never gonna get anywhere close to that.
Yeah,
So
that,
it looks pretty shoddy. I mean, it's, we've got all this, we're trying to upgrade everything and as you know, you saw, it just.
yeah, the roads that have more wear and tear, they show more of the aggregate, and that patch is nice and smooth and black. And so, yes, that color will get close, but if you look really closely, that'll stay kind of smooth longer than the rest of that until we actually mill and overlay.
What were you saying, Ken?
Years away.
Were you saying something, Ken?
Just, riding over them, they're effective, they don't look great at the moment.
Yeah, okay.
But yes, I will be out of the country from the 11th to the 27th
With golf clubs?
with golf.
Enjoy.
Yeah, have fun, Rick. Yeah, and long and straight.
Thanks. Andy, do you have anything to report?
Just an update on a few items. The first is, at the last meeting, directed me to send a correspondence to Juniper, inviting them to the July 13th meeting. You all received a copy that we sent them. I personally have not heard anything. I don't know if Spencer or Keith have had any interaction, but that's out there. Little update on the best matter is that Rich and I had an opportunity to meet last week by Teams with our litigation counsel, Mike Prohidney. Just gave us an update about where we are and where we will be moving forward. At the same time, Belinda had the idea, which was an excellent one, to send the counterclaim to Aegis, and they have responded that they will provide counsel for defending the counterclaim. So we've kept Mike in the loop on that, Mike Prohidney. So they are going to work together on the case, since obviously Mike is more up to speed than this new counsel is going to be. And I think Belinda and I might have some additional discussions with Aegis maybe in the next few days as well. But they have agreed to take up the defense. The answer to the counterclaim was due this week, but Mike was able to secure an extension until the 29th. So that will give everybody time to coordinate their efforts. You look like you have a question. Sure.
I was not on the board. I think Ken was the only one on the board when we had the action with the city over the hydraulic fluid spill. I just generally was wondering how it works with the shade meetings. Typically, do you say, board, we need a shade meeting, or does somebody on the board say we should have a shade meeting?
Well, so, obviously, I was here, but I had the conflict, so I did not participate in those shade meetings, but I certainly know about shade meetings. So, it's either, at some point, I, working with Mike, or Rich, might say, hey, we need a shade meeting. But at any time, if you feel that you would like to request a shade meeting, any board member, you can. A little bit about the process of how it works is there's a special notice. We have to have a regular meeting. Then in the regular meeting, we make certain required announcements like, hey, everybody, we are now going into shade meeting. We have to say how long it's going to last. There's a court reporter that's present. And then at the end of the litigation, the transcript becomes public. And so, and you're only allowed to have discussions about settlement negotiations and litigation expenditures. So if we had some discussions and we arrived at some sort of conclusion, I don't even know what it is. Let's say we're further down the case and it was a settlement, okay? Then you would go back into the regular meeting where you would take formal action. So no formal action is taken in the shade meeting, even though you do have that court reporter present.
Can the shade meeting discuss, in the shade meeting, could we discuss the particulars of the case? So
Yes,
so
yes.
the board members can get up to speed.
Yes, and only certain people can be present. Your litigation attorney, I can be present as well, board members, Belinda can be present, the court reporter. But, you know, sorry, Keith, you wouldn't be able to be there.
Oh, no.
I know he's upset.
Can I ask what your thoughts are?
I know, I really wanted to be there. It does.
You get back to me later.
I don't know, I mean, I think we have
More of
meetings
it.
every 2 weeks.
Right.
You know, it's not like we're going on hiatus for the summer, so.
Right.
I think you'll let us know if you think.
Yeah, we're not, I mean, as I said, we've got some new stuff going on right now with the new attorney coming on board and coordinating all of that. And so, again, if you'd like, you can have one, but nothing significant is occurring right now. This is the initial part of the case. We're just starting to respond and no discovery has begun yet, although I expect it will soon. Things along those lines. And I'm individually, you can always call me and I'm glad to answer whatever questions you have as well. Okay, and then the final item was, he also asked me at the meeting last time we were together to send a letter to the golf course with regards to swift mud issues. And we did send that with a May 24th deadline. I have heard 0. So I don't know if Ken has any update, but I have not heard anything further.
Have you heard? No?
Not a word.
Oh, well, maybe should I go and stomp on Jay's toe or something?
Well, I can call him again.
I think we should.
But if they're not responding to Andy, calling again doesn't seem to be, I mean, I guess we can.
Is it out of Jay's hands? Is it higher up?
I don't know, Desi Howe was here.
Nobody, he didn't like reach out to me and be like, hey, it's not me, or hey, I'm checking into it, or I got your letter, can I have 5 more days? Nothing.
I think this would be good for a personal visit for to Jay, just to
With
say.
my 7-iron.
Just to say, Jay.
What are you doing?
Okay, I got
Is
it.
it in your hands? Is it out of your hands?
I'll
With
corner
what?
Jay. Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to report back on that.
Okay. Okay, I'll pay him with this.
Or a key.
Other than that, I'm glad to answer, any questions. All right, thank you.
Just to add to the Vesta matter, we did receive a message from Jeff Champagne. He's been appointed by Corvell as the Senior Liability Claims Specialist. So he did reach out to me for a call, so maybe you and I can, okay, so I'll ask him for some dates so that we can have a conversation with him and bring him up to speed.
They have assigned counsel already. We haven't heard from them yet. I mean, this all happened like Friday.
Okay.
But they have assigned counsel.
Yeah, so it's moving pretty quickly. All right, we don't have anybody from Hampton for
No, we
report.
kind of took care of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keith, did you have anything to report?
Just a few things, board. Good morning or good afternoon. One of our favorite subjects is speed bumps. And so recommending, we've talked with
Mary, about speed bump up at the front entrance when the resident, not on the resident side, there's already one there. But on the guardhouse, a portable speed bump or whatever can go there. Well, putting in a portable speed bump comes with some real issues. You gotta pound a big nail into the asphalt. You gotta do a bunch of different things like that. We got rid of those because they ate up so it might be an idea just to add one there. It's on the resident, it's already, there's one already on the resident side, but this would be the visitor side, right? To when when it comes in. Mary has said many times that it is an issue when traffic is, when we're directing traffic. I suggested that maybe we get some more barrier type things that might slow people down rather than just cones and not have to put a speed bump up. But.
Are they leaving the gatehouse hot or are they coming in hot?
No, they're coming in.
Okay.
This had come up, I think, in connection with the, when/if there's a hurricane to protect the residents who are on duty manning the gate while the staff is gone. And I did mention, I think you were in the hurricane meeting, we're going to be putting up that signage. So maybe should we get with Mary and think about other measures, or can we borrow?
I worked the day last year. Can you just lay something down, a temporary thing? I mean, we're talking it's going to be there for a day or two tops when power's out, so.
That's what we're talking about, is a temporary, what type of temporary things are we?
Mary, I think Mary's dying to, and I would love to recognize Mary. It's hurricane season.
I know, speed bumps, those things that we all just love. The reason we brought it to the attention is after a storm, well, right before and after a storm, we have volunteers who will man the security area. What we have had in the past are people, and these are residents coming through, who are sometimes rude, which we can deal with, but want to speed on through. We are very conscious of keeping our volunteers safe, and we train them to be safe. But what we thought was, if we had something before they're coming through that gate area that will slow them down, we reduce the risk to our volunteers, and that's a huge issue for us. We looked at the temporary things, Rich, like you were talking about. They have to have screws that bolt them into that area.
Okay, they have.
If it's just, you can't just put a bump there.
Because it'll jump up and hit the car or one of those types. It's gotta be.
Well, what about a couple Jersey barrier or barrel type things that just sort of force the vehicle, something like that?
That was what I had suggested, we get those barriers, then just, make more of a funnel rather than a little cone, directing people over there to funnel it into that area and close it off a little bit, so they have to
So
slow
maybe
down.
you and Mary and I can work together on what would be appropriate, especially, obviously safety's number one, and then we'll sort of take it offline that way, if that's okay?
Because there were some residents that, when
Yeah.
they saw us standing there, as soon as the
I
car
live
drove past, they decided right through, and we're standing there trying to take license plate numbers and guess when they're going, and I mean,
How dare you?
and people almost like went over your feet.
Can I offer this? We've looked at everything, including the gate that goes across.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have to have somebody who goes in front of them and brings it over. That's why, and I'm not in favor of adding a lot of speed bumps. I'm really not. But this would also protect the guards
Yes.
who are there 20.
Spiked strips up front?
No. So we've looked at all this, we've exhausted everything. That's why we brought the idea of a permanent, to you. Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you. We'll noodle it. Okay.
Then, lots of discussion about ponds. Ponds are low. If you've noticed, there is, we're way down, throughout the property on ponds. That grass down on those sides is gonna grow, when there's no water there. Most of the time, there's water there and you don't see that. The spike bulrush, we've had this conversation many times about spike bulrush. Previous boards have, and I love the idea when a professional like this, whoever they're having come in and, Florida, people come in and start talking about it, because they'll see the spike bulrush and go, that's good stuff. That's good for the ponds, right? They were just said that they have another way of getting rid of some of that now, but we'll see. And I look forward to coming in and having that meeting with them and see what they have to say. They've been here before, out at the pond, out in the condos. We've had, Florida people come in and talk to them about that. But spike bulrush, and I talked to Solitude the other day about it, and he said, Keith, always, want the professionals to come in, but they're gonna tell you, you take it out, it's gonna come back, and it's expensive to pull it out. And you have to pull it out if you're gonna get rid of it. But it's not just that one pond. Okay, you've got 69 ponds, not all of them have spike brush in it, but as soon as we do, it's, you'll be doing an assessment, for that. But it's, I look forward to talking to the professionals and give us, if they have new ideas, that's what it's all about. So we'll report back to the board once we have that meeting and bring you back up to date on what's happening. Oh, painting started on the monuments. And yeah, they're up there painting, and so that's a good thing. They started last week. If you noticed, we did get the sign that said, have your ID and.
I haven't been out of the community in days.
Well, it's not up.
Oh, okay.
Because when I sent that to him, I said, hey, you misspelled address, okay?
Oh, my God.
He said, okay. Well, when I came to you this morning, the supervisor up there said, Keith, we have a problem with this sign. Don't tell me that it's misspelled. She goes, okay, I won't tell you that, but it's misspelled. And so she held up the sign. I was like, so took a picture of it, sent it back to them. They'll get it fixed. Then there, if you come in, you'll notice that, when you turn go to the Welcome Center, there's that sign that says Welcome Center, that monument. Well, I had all the juniper pulled out in front of that.
It looks great.
And I'm gonna take center off, move Welcome to the center, and paint it, and welcome. So, but yeah, they're doing a great job in painting, so.
So we own that monument?
We own it?
I'm pretty sure we do.
We're still gonna fix it.
We're still fixing it.
Keith, the fountain in the front, is the leak being addressed in the base?
The leak, I'm still waiting on the leak people to get back to us, because
In the fountain.
In the fountain, that's why it's not.
they've been out here twice, and it looks like we might have to, more site, or drain it all and redo the whole inside of that thing again. It's been 20 years since, however long that fountain's been here.
Marsite, like inside.
Marsite, and that's what they're looking and saying that we're probably gonna have to do to fix that.
Should it even be on with the water restrictions?
It hasn't been.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. No, I
But
didn't.
we,
No, I didn't think so.
we keep water in it just so that the stuff that's in it doesn't dry rot, and so we keep it semi-full, but we watch it every day, it just starts going down about 2 inches a day, so.
I don't know, but every community, obviously if it's got liquid, can't be on, but every community has got the water features going, and you just pull in here and it just looks drab.
Yeah, that's why I was hoping it would be fixed, so hopefully we get an answer.
The ponds.
Who did you have look at it?
It's a leak detecting company. I mean, I can turn it back on.
No, I'm just wondering if we should get another leak detecting company to take a look at it and see if they can identify it and patch it, rather than just one.
Okay.
I've had them at my house, happy to give you another name.
Okay, great.
Keith, I think you were there when Mrs. LaPierre mentioned the where was she? Mestry.
Mestry. Yeah, the burn.
Is that?
The fire?
Yeah.
Can you get with her?
In our wetlands and the scrape downs in those areas, yes, there's a lot of, and going into them is difficult. You can't go into them, they really don't want you to be pulling anything out of it. I do as best we can when it's right up close to the property line, we take out, if it's, looks really, we take it out. We have here the last couple, we pulled a little bit of it out, but to go in there, they really don't want us to do it. I can, probably we could ask for a special thing from Swiftmud to go in and maybe look at it. But, we've got 21 wetlands.
I guess I was just asking, like, what would typically happen if somebody was concerned? Would we take a look at it, or?
Oh, yeah, I'll go out and take a look at it and see how close it is to the property line.
Okay.
And then, if we've got stuff hanging over, sure as heck cut that out.
That'd be great, if you could, then we can address it.
Yeah.
But if it's the whole preserve that is getting dried out, I mean, that is a Swiftmud question, and maybe they do assessments of fire risk.
I'll talk with Solitude, who, takes care of our wetlands, and, to see if, they can get a hold of, they probably know, it's probably not their first rodeo when it comes to those things, so I will definitely talk with them.
Okay.
Yeah, it is definitely getting dangerous out there.
Yes.
I mean, I was, everywhere I walk, there's just everything, yeah.
We've got water, we got rain, it's in the forecast all this week, it was last week too, we didn't get a drop, but, ponds are low, okay? We haven't seen the screens in the big pond yet. When that happens, then we gotta start doing some other things, so.
So we're gonna keep the wet checks going then on Mondays?
And Thursdays right now.
Oh, and Thursdays, both days, okay.
Should we
Okay.
cut back the second day wet check?
I'm all in favor of that, if that's what the board thinks, I'm all in favor of sending a note out and saying,
Keep Monday going longer by doing that, maybe we need to do it.
Yeah. That's what I'm wondering too, if it makes sense. Would it be your recommendation that we do this?
but, just
Since
for
you're
one
off,
day.
go to one day, yeah. Okay, I think we should too.
Yeah, we are critical right now, and until we get to the point that we have some more rain, and if the rain's heavy in the next 2 weeks, we can go back and change it.
I think if that's your recommendation. don't
I
you
think so too, yes, 100%.
You don't need a motion. Ken, do you have any
I'll make
thoughts on
that
that?
motion. Yeah, I'll make that motion, because I think it'll also cut back on the abusers.
Well, by 50%?
We could do board direction.
Board direction.
Board direction?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I
Okay,
Great,
think that's fine.
board directions from Ken.
all right.
Okay.
Okay.
Then there's one other, if you go up to the pump house and look at the pump house to the left, there's that pipe that comes in that we get our reclaimed water from. That thing leaks like a sieve. It needs to be re-sleeved, and it's not as easy as just, you have to have a well company come out, pull all the casing that's down in that well, or in that, and redo it. And of course, we split that cost with the golf course. Anything that goes on up there is a 50-50 split. That is something here this coming weeks that I will be bringing up, because we waste a lot of water
Isn't
there.
that what we have in our package?
Hmm?
Is that what we have in our package for Metro?
No.
Or there's something else?
Okay.
Oh, that was the
Yeah, those
filters.
filters.
That was for the filters.
Okay.
But that's gonna be another, expense coming up to get that back to, because if that fails or blows out, go up there one day and just kind of take a look at it. It's
So the golf course gets send the water, and we split costs on the pumping station 50-50, that's it.
They get 55.
well, we don't do anything with their pump. They have their own pumps.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't, the pumps for the golf course is completely different from our pumps.
Oh, good,
Okay, but anything other than their pumps, like that pipe coming in, the pump house itself, any of those type of things, we split the cost.
Ken, would that be a reserve item if it's to be replaced?
Depends on the cost, but probably.
You think what do you think, what are we looking at, Keith?
Oh, it's gonna be in excess of $5,000, I'm sure.
Okay.
So can you get some
Yeah,
bids on?
he and I talked about that before we left, before I left.
Oh, okay,
It likely would.
okay. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Keith.
My pleasure.
Thanks, Keith.
Keith, quick question for you. Any update on the fence install? Is it still planned for the end of the month?
We got all the paperwork to them, and I'm gonna say yes,
Okay, cool.
but don't hold that,
I know.
bullet, just, in case they don't. But I'm thinking that's sometime before the end of the month they'll start, and it's a pretty quick process. It's not something that's gonna be drawn out for, months.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Just as a reminder, supervisors, the next meeting is scheduled for June 22nd, 2026. I have this as just a workshop,
At 9:30.
9:30 a.m. If you have items that you'd like for us to put on an agenda for the workshop, please forward them to me so that we can prepare an agenda.
Okay,
So public hearing.
you get a break.
So it's 9:30, right?
You have other things to do, right?
9:30.
I do.
All right, so any questions for me?
Come to my house.
All right, we're gonna move into item number 6A, unless this was already covered during the workshop. This is the discussion regarding the supervisor's request to the general manager and Hampton Golf.
I think we covered that in the workshop.
I'm not even sure what that is.
That was it.
Well, we were chatting about how to, how to streamline things a little bit.
Make it a little easier for Hampton and the general
Yeah.
manager.
So-
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that was that item.
Yeah, okay.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna move into item number 6B, which is the consideration of the Metro PSI maintenance agreement. This is for the pump systems. This is behind tab number 1 for your review.
I have a quick question on that. This is a service agreement one, right? Yeah. How many, Keith, how many stations? This is a cost per station, isn't it?
That's what it looks
I
like.
wasn't clear what the total annual cost of this was, the service
What
agreement.
are we looking at? I was writing.
Sorry, the preventive maintenance service agreement for PSI, Metro PSI.
Oh, it's just the one pump house.
Oh, it's just one?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was more.
No, they only take care of our pumps.
Oh,
And so it's a contract with them to come out.
oh.
So this avoids the problem we had before where we thought they were looking at the filters, but they were not.
Yeah, that was a huge learning experience, and
Okay.
I'm,
So to make sure I understood.
Okay, because I
This
just.
makes total sense.
Okay.
Does this include the cost of new filters?
No, that's the next.
No.
That's the next one,
That's the
okay.
big one. I would move to approve this preventive maintenance
Do
agreement.
we want a contract for this?
It's so small.
It's tiny,
It's
415, 175.
I'll second that motion.
So there's a motion by Cheryl, second by Cindy. Any further discussion?
It's got to be made out to a different
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a Venetian.
name.
Yeah, it needs to say
Oh, yeah,
Venetian CDD.
Thank you for
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Her.
All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, we are going to move into item number 6C, which is the ratification of the Metro Pumping Systems expense to rebuild the filters. This is behind tab number 2 for your review.
Yeah, I think we just pretty much need like a motion on this.
Yeah, we would just need a motion to ratify the
I'll
expense.
make the motion.
Just one question, did we get any other quotes for that on this, or is this, I mean,
Metro Pump has been, they were the ones that, the rebuild came from the company that built the pumps from Canada. All right, it wasn't Metro, okay? So Metro's the one that reinstalled the new filters, once we found out that those had busted. So, it wasn't going out to get a bid to have them rebuilt. We went back to the company that actually built it and had them build it that way. And then Metro put it in and installed it and all those things.
So
But,
these are custom filters then?
oh, yes.
just one thing.
Yeah, they're a big custom.
Yeah, I can see that.
We clean them at least, well, the pre-filters, we clean them at least once every 2 months. okay? And, I think we've been over why this a few times with the filters behind it. There's another set of filters behind it. And so that's what failed, was the filters by, and if you didn't know that they were there, what you're looking for, you wouldn't know, so.
Yeah, all right, we had talked about this too, and these particular ones had never been done before, correct?
Correct.
And how long should they last?
Well, these should last indefinitely. I mean, as long as they're maintained right with Metro, but us looking at it now and knowing what to look for will assure that is something that we, helps prolong the longevity of those filters.
So the maintenance agreement extends the life of the filter, so, yeah.
Yeah.
So then this is.
This is a reserve item.
Okay.
Yeah, so you made a motion, right, Cindy?
I did.
Second.
Second by Cheryl. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 We now have item number 6D, which is the consideration of resolution 2026-05, reappointing the assistant treasurer of the district. This is behind tab number 3 for your review. Sean Wildermuth, who was our COO, has retired, so Susan Garcia, on behalf of Rosetta, will be designated in his place. Any questions regarding the resolution? There are no questions. We'd be looking for a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Jill, is there a second? Second by Rich. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We're now going to move into item number 6E, which is the presentation of the proposed budget for fiscal year 2026-2027. This is behind tab number 4 for your review. We also have the consideration of resolution number 2026-06, approving the proposed budgets for fiscal year 2026-2027 and setting the public hearing thereon. The resolution is behind tab number 5 for your review. I'm not sure if at this point there are any additional changes to the proposed budgets. We've gone through this a few times. There's been a lot of review. So if there are any changes to the proposed, now would be the time to make those changes before approving the resolution.
Just one comment or one thing. We had brought up to Vesta and then to Hampton that there's about $50,000 worth of pool repairs.
Yeah.
That I don't know if it ever got integrated into this budget. It's called a reserve thing, but I just want to make sure reserves are up to speed and handling those additional costs because it's been talked about for a year and nothing's happened in the year. I just want to make sure that we're funded for these things because it's going to have to get done at some point.
Pam,
Probably sooner than later.
did you come
I'm
back?
looking. Well, either way, it depends what the repairs are. Rich, do you recall in 25 words or less?
Tim forwarded me the email. Let me hang on 3 seconds.
Was this for the,
It was.
Well, was there also a cover for the pool equipment in that range?
I don't think so. Hang on, give me one
that's part of
second.
the problem.
There's geothermal in here, there's mechanical equipment, and there's pool finish.
Okay.
For a lot of money.
Thanks, Jill's
Mechanical
phone.
and geothermal is $285,000.
Well, the geothermal is different than the,
No, but the mechanical is $50,000.
yeah, that's what it is, about 50,000 mechanical.
There was no discussion of that during our reserve meetings with either Hampton or the facilities committee to add that for 26. I mean, there's a general pool, so if it falls under the definition of reserves as opposed to repairs, then there's money there to do it, obviously. But that specific item was not brought up.
All right, because, yeah, because there's some stuff, obviously, some things don't need to be done. Lighting is nice, I don't know if it's necessary to be done now, but there's different options or whatever on this email that you sent. Like I said, this was provided this has been provided several times to everybody over the years. Why it did not get this minute, I don't know.
What kind of repairs are we talking about?
Well, there's pool lights, there's filters. I'm just trying to go through this.
What are you looking at, Rich?
Those are maintenance items.
Well, yes and no. It's not just replacing the light, I think it's replacing more than just the light.
I don't have any.
What are you talking about, Rich? Because I don't know.
I'll let me forward this to you.
Okay.
He just sent it to me this morning.
Nobody responded.
I'm just trying to look through whether there was anything in the facilities reports or.
Not the recent one.
Not recent, no, nothing recent, this has been provided to
Well,
everybody.
keep in mind, board members, as you already know, you can't go higher, but you can move things around if you need to. You can always go lower.
Right.
Okay.
So,
And we can move things around.
Yeah, you should have it now. We'll just send it.
as long as the assessments, we're just setting a ceiling right now. So the assessments can't go any higher. Like I said, you can move things around, potentially go lower if you end up in that direction. We just can't go any higher than what you approved today.
Sorry.
So if there's a concern from an expense perspective with the replacement of the lights, because I do know that the pool lights do need to be fixed and everything, and it is expensive to do we want to think about adding some money to the aquatics budget at this point before we do this initial approval?
Well, it doesn't have necessarily to the aquatics budget, it's just,
We just need to capture it someplace.
Yeah.
Yes, and yeah, so I was just thinking in that cost.
So that's where it would be if it's repairs.
I would say it's in that cost center, because when I take a look at the aquatics budget and I take a look at the, I only see like, if I'm reading this correctly, well, I got 21,000 in there for equipment repairs for the aquatics. Maybe they did consider it then.
Possible, I don't.
There's no note next to that,
There's no.
but
How much is there, Cindy?
21,000 in repairs and equipment in the aquatics line, in the aquatics cost center.
And this total that he's got in here is like around 54,000. But it also includes things like lighting, which we aren't open when it's dark, so I'm not quite sure how much lighting we need in the pool.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't know if it's like a health code thing and it needs to be on. I don't know.
Well, you don't have, as I think I just heard Cheryl say, in order to have night swimming, there's all administrative code
Right.
specs as to
These are not night
brightness
lights.
and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, these are not, definitely they're not night lights.
Okay.
These are just the replacement of the existing lights. Now, even if the pool's closed, does, I guess.
Maybe they light it for ambiance or something. I don't know.
I don't know, when they do, yeah, when
But
they
it's
have
not
the
night
evening.
swimming.
It is absolutely
Yeah.
not night swimming, but the replacement cost is significant for each one of them. I do know that.
I don't know.
When I talked to Dave Minesco, it was like $1,200 to $1,500 a light to replace them.
Which normally you would replace them as they fail.
Right.
Because they're not gonna all fail at the
Correct.
same time.
Yeah, the problem is
So-
if you start replacing, then they're gonna start looking different, because these are the old lights, they're gonna replace them with the new, the old lights are bulbs, the new lights are LED, so they're gonna look very different. So if you're gonna replace one, you just,
So the lights are one thing, what else was on the list, Rich?
I just,
You just sent it to
Yeah,
us?
everybody should.
Okay,
It's lighting is 16,
okay,
filters, 6,000, surge pit valves, 3,400. And then base project, 27,000, I'm not sure what.
yeah, I don't.
And that might be what you have part of in your budget already, so.
And some of the stuff that he does is not necessarily all needed.
Yeah, a lot of this is replace it before it breaks, but
Yeah.
there's always,
right.
Well, yeah, and I think, one of the things I appreciate about Tim is that, he looks at things in terms of, what would it take for it to be optimal.
Right.
But I think, I personally, I feel like we're in a pretty good place with the budget, and I'm not sure I want to get into monkeying,
I just, and I'm not saying we should, I just wanted to bring it up because like I said, this has been good.
And you
This
still
quote,
can.
yeah, this quote actually is from September 2025, but I recall this happening even prior to that. So this was going up, this started with Julie, and then with Kelso, and then to Greg. I mean, this has been,
No, I know.
this has been going on a long time.
Yeah.
The reason I'm not that familiar with it is because it's so old,
I was out in the back with Tim and Kelso at one point last summer going through a lot of stuff. And it is at the point where things are aged. And the one thing I will agree upon, and I know this is not an expense item, it's more of a reserve item, is getting a cover for all that pool equipment because that sun just beats down
Well,
on
we
that stuff
have-
and terrorizes.
Greg was looking into that.
He
and
was?
I don't know where
Okay.
it was left off.
Okay,
So maybe Hampton, maybe Bill can find out where that was going and what it was doing, because he was coming with different ideas of what to do, because obviously we wanted something that would survive a hurricane. It doesn't make sense to put up
plus
something.
you have to look at aeration and airflow under the cover. Because I looked at that for my house and
Yeah.
they said, oh, don't do that.
because of the lack of circulation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's
It would have
it's
to-
something we should look at.
It would have
If
to
you
be
a
a
lot of
high enough, it would have to be
circulation,
a high enough so airflow.
Air could flow
in
circulate
which
around.
case you have a hurricane risk. So
That's-
that was what I had this conversation.
That was exactly it. You don't want something, the wind will come underneath it
And launch
create a
it.
cell and.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, worth looking at, but.
And then
Okay.
then we're looking at, the cheap, like, cloth sails, well, those will blow away and
Right,
those have to come down in a
Those
30
have to come
mile,
down,
30
yeah.
mile an hour wind, so you constantly put them up and taking them down, and we'll be doing that 6 months, 8 months of the year.
That would likely be capital.
okay.
So I mean, you will have other opportunities, if
Yeah.
you said August, until August
Yeah,
to refine.
I'm good.
So this, let me just understand this, so I just understand where we're coming from.
Fine.
This is the high water benchmark. There will be conversations in the future to bring this down if we choose.
If you choose to,
If
or
we
move
choose
things
to-
around.
Or move,
yeah,
move
this-
things around.
This is not set in stone, you just will not be able to have an
higher.
assessment higher than what you're setting right now.
Then I am good with this. It's
You
not
have,
gonna go
assuming
higher.
you pick August 24th, you'll have from now until August 24th when you meet to have further
Okay,
discussions.
how many conversations do we get to have about this as we go along?
As many as
Well, we
you
can
want.
do this in workshop anytime.
Yeah.
And
so,
And at any meeting.
at
So,
any meeting.
Well, if you want to, like, for example, even though Belinda and Andy aren't here, 2 weeks from today, we
Yes.
have just workshop only.
yes,
Can we put on the,
I can make a proposal to reduce this or shift.
You can do whatever you want.
And so we don't need to take a vote and it doesn't need to be a formal board meeting. Okay,
No, that will come home.
Can we put on the agendas for every workshop and
Budget discussion.
budget
budget
discussion.
discussion?
Yep.
Between, on every meeting that we're gonna have between now and.
That way it's just on there.
Yeah, it's on there.
To have it or
Thank you very
not,
much,
or-
Rich, yes.
And this way, if we don't have it, we don't have it, but it's.
Perfect,
Now we can.
Yeah, you can have
Awesome.
your discussions or not, and
I'm sure it will be.
and then
There's, yeah.
on the 24th, you will do your final adoption again, assuming that's the date we pick.
I know, and Belinda's explained this to me like 15 times already. It's just not, it's bouncing off right now for some reason,
And Cindy,
Belinda.
there's going to be a mail notice, there's going to be an ad in the paper,
Okay,
and there's going to be a mail notice, we're increasing, right? That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So, and there's going to be a mail notice that goes out to everybody, and it will have that high watermark number on it.
Okay.
And so then people, based on that number, can choose whether to come to any of your meetings, but to the public hearing as
Gotcha.
well.
Gotcha.
And so you just keep it, sort of the mindset is if you lower it, people aren't usually upset.
Right. Right,
So we just give them what the worst case scenario would be in their mail notice, and
Gotcha.
they make their decision.
Okay, cool, thank you, appreciate that. All right, then I am very comfortable with this.
Okay.
You need a motion on the
We do.
budget?
We do, so we would need a
Ken has
motion.
something to
Oh, I'm
say, though.
sorry.
Ken has something to
Ken.
say. Ken?
Yeah, I don't know what goes to the county or state, but there is an error in the River Club.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Yeah, that's right, Mike Waring brought it to our
that
attention,
up.
yes,
It's a formula error,
yes.
because I wasn't sure. So the column for projected variance, right, in the River Club budget
Yes.
is just the same as I think the annual
It got
budget.
duplicated rather than subtracted.
Does it affect the
Not
assessment
a-
calculation?
It's not a-
No,
No,
does not affect the, yeah.
no, it's in the workshop.
I mean, we should fix it. but-
We'll fix
okay.
it, but that doesn't impede us from submitting it to the county.
Oh, fair enough. So you need a motion.
We would need a motion to approve resolution number 2026-06, approving the proposed budgets for fiscal year 2026, 2027, and setting the public hearing. Did we want to keep that date for the public hearing, with the 60-day mark?
Ken, can you mute?
Yes.
And what's the
Thanks.
first one?
First one is-
We have to wait at least 60 days from today. And you have to certify your roll by statute by September 15th, but most tax collectors want it by August 31st.
I thought, didn't we, oh, no, I'm thinking of the voters.
Right, yeah, that's different.
I should know by now.
That's okay.
20
So I don't know what your first meeting August date is, whether
Looks
that,
like it would be August 10th.
Yes.
so June, 30 days in June, right, 22. You make it? Do you want to go for that?
We have gone later than that, if I recall.
22 and 31, it's 56. And it would be tight, but you could do it.
I mean, I think it's a little tight.
So we'd have to do the 24th then, or move the,
Or pick a special.
Or pick a special. We can probably move, if the board is in agreement, the August 10th meeting to the following week,
To the 17th.
the following Monday.
and then we move the 24th.
The 24th you can keep as your normal workshop.
Oh, okay.
Use the 17th as the budget.
And actually, that would work too, because, well, yeah, because we don't have, the first Monday in September, of course, is Labor Day. So then, yeah, we could,
It may have to be me, but I'll find somebody who can help.
so then what date are we?
17.
17th.
Okay.
Okay,
What day are you looking at?
Monday, the 17th of August, Ken?
And we're not doing the 24th because
Well, we could do the
Okay.
24th.
why
it's
aren't
up
we
to you.
keeping the 24th?
well, the
I'm sorry, I
24th
lost-
is normally a workshop. The second meeting in the month is normally a workshop, so we'll keep that as the workshop.
Okay, it doesn't matter to me.
And
Might as
then-
well.
Or we could just,
Why would we move it unless we need to,
Or
right?
you could just have one meeting on the 24th and nothing on the 10th.
Does that work for you better?
I mean, it doesn't matter to me, I just don't know why we would move it. You know, just make the workshop the budget hearing.
So then the 24th is what you're saying?
And not have the 10th if you want.
Yeah, and then we can still have the 10th,
Or
but
you
we can
can
just
just-
wait for that.
We- well, how about we flip them?
Workshop.
Yeah, let's make the 10th work.
You can do the
Workshop.
10th, that's your workshop, and then the
All right, that
24th
works.
as the regular meeting.
Or leave them both as regular meetings that month if we really need them, because if there are business items, you don't want to move that to
That's a
the
good idea.
budget.
They're already both scheduled as
You know what I
regular
mean?
meetings.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's keep them both as regular meetings.
Yeah.
So they're both scheduled as regular meetings. We're now going to do this additional notice setting a budget hearing for.
For the 24th. Got it.
So 8:30 for both days.
Yeah.
For workshop,
No.
No, your second meeting workshop is noticed at 9:30.
Oh,
Okay.
That's a good.
So then tentative plan is the 10th and the 24th. Staff would not be at the 10th, but would be at the 24th.
yes.
So the 10th is 8:30 then?
We leave it at 9:30.
10th is
If the whole- if the-
9:30.
If the whole thing's a workshop, I think we should say.
Yeah.
9:30, okay, I'm just trying to make
That's
sure.
what
I
we
get
have
this.
advertised, right? 10th at 9:30.
So the 10th is 9:30, and then the 24th is also 9:30.
Although we'll have a workshop either.
Right,
Yes.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, that's what I'm saying, 8:30, that's what I meant. No, that's what I meant,
Wait,
8:30, yeah.
Okay, I think we got it.
I just want to make sure I have my times right.
So in case people in the audience are listening, it's August 24th for the budget.
And you're gonna get a letter in the mail, and there'll be an ad in the paper.
Yes, okay.
So the clock starts ticking today. So today, we start the process. So first things first, we finalize the packet. It goes onto the website, then we mail it, which we do have to do. And then we start with preparing the mail notices and everything else that needs to happen.
And those mail notices are typically about 30 days ahead of the 24th, so expect them around that time frame. The statute is 20, but we like to give ourselves some leeway.
Any questions? No.
We don't even have a motion yet.
We need a motion to approve resolution number 2026-06.
I'll make the motion.
And setting the public hearing for 8/24 at 9:30 at this location,
Okay,
and approving the budget as presented.
okay,
Thank you.
That was your motion.
yes.
I second that.
Second, Rich. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye.
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 We do have item number 6F, which is the discussion and consideration of the modifications to the Allied Security Contract.
So I think I kind of put this on, didn't I? I did. Keith and I had one of our many daily chats about whether we should, since we've agreed on that we don't need the second shift rover, should we in fact end it now versus waiting until the fiscal year to save money? So that's why I put this on the agenda for us to talk about this.
Is it the first shift rover?
Second shift.
Second shift. And Sundays. All Sunday,
All day Sunday.
correct.
Do we have a first shift rover?
Yes.
So second shift is
Except for
2
for
to,
Bob.
2 to 8, I think.
2 PM to 10 PM.
2 p.m., yeah.
So that causes a couple of small glitches. One of them is locking up the pickleball courts at 7:30, okay?
We've got a fix for that.
Okay, and then there was one other thing that I thought of, and I can't think of it right now. So let's just go with the pickleball court. So we would need a solution for that to make sure those got locked at 7:30 still.
Talked with Paul,
Uh-huh.
and we talked about running electricity out to that.
Okay,
And doing the same thing with, you can do but he said, if all you're wanting to do is lock it up, we just put a timer out there. It locks it at 7:30 and it unlocks at 8 o'clock or whenever we want to unlock it.
Do you get a panic button though if you're?
And there's be a panic button on the inside if you're happen to be in there when you're not supposed to.
How much is that gonna cost? That sounds like it's an expensive proposition, because one of the,
Well, the electric and everything else that we were looking at was close to, I think it was like $8,000 or $9,000 to do that. But the timer's not expensive at all. You're looking probably under, $2,000.
because one of the things that we were also, that Greg had also mentioned that you said no to was we were looking at running power by the tennis courts to possibly run fans under the canopies.
Well,
So if we're running electricity, that.
it's not that I said no to it, okay?
I know you didn't say no. I'm just telling you what we were,
We lived without fans for 20 years out there.
I'm not saying we need the fans, but I'm just saying that if we're looking at running power, it might be a dual purpose scenario, because that's, it's something to contemplate.
I think the timer makes perfect sense.
Absolutely.
And, if it's like a timer on a home door, only a commercial one,
yeah,
you can even do that off-site. You
Right.
can
Right.
Lock and unlock and.
can we do the same thing with the pool gates? Because people are getting in there before those gates are supposed to be opened, and I don't know what happened with the clocks, but that's a conversation for another day.
So assuming we've solved the issue with locking the pickleball courts on time then. So then the second shift rover is 2 to 10?
2 to 10.
10 PM. And then, but you're saying all days?
Sunday.
All day Sunday, like the whole day?
Like, what would be what would be the reasoning behind the all day? Is it just because we don't have vendors in here?
There's no vendors and it's relatively quiet. And, I've talked with, Tony, the supervisor that's been there for a while. And I asked him to pick a day that, we could get rid of completely. He said Sundays. I mean, there is no vendors. And so
So we still have a human there.
we still have a human at the gate, yeah.
Yeah, but I thought the whole notion of having somebody drive around was not for vendors, it was to give them, give the discouragement against bad activity.
But there's less activity on Sundays
I'm not
anyway.
talking about vendor bad activity, I'm talking
No, I'm
about.
talking any activity.
Well, but it's the overnight hours, were, my concern, 2 PM to 10 PM, I'm not particularly fussed about this.
Yeah, I'm not worried about during the day, I'm talking about more like at nighttime and,
Well, this is only 2 PM to 10 PM.
But it's all day Sunday.
no, he said all day Sunday, all day
Right.
Sunday. So I'm talking about Sunday, I'm talking about Sunday, no.
And it picks back up Monday morning at, the regular, the first shift at 6.
Why do we have to include Sunday into that, or can we?
We don't, Rich, we don't have
What
to,
did we include in the budget?
That's my question.
I
We
think
already put something in.
this budget included, the 2 PM to 10 PM and Sundays.
That's what I think.
Yes.
So I think
Okay.
we should
So
try it.
Yes,
We
that's
should be
correct.
consistent.
Oh,
Why-
we should try.
Why don't we just do it? Can we make an adjustment now and try it and see?
You would need to amend your
Right,
contract.
we need an addendum.
And can we do an addendum to that? That's what I'm asking. Can we?
We can,
addendum?
if that's your direction.
Well, if we do that, this is a concern I had, and I don't know whether I talked to
Are
Keith
they
and
amenable
Belinda.
to it?
My concern is if we renegotiate it down to a lower total number of hours, that they're gonna try to hose us on the rate. Once you open yourself up, once you open the kimono, you open the kimono, so.
Well, that was my next question,
Yeah.
have you had discussions with them at all about this?
Well, maybe we should.
So my only concern about Sundays, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Cheryl, is the fact that we do have a lot of people coming in here on the weekends and fishing the ponds and poaching alligators and turtles and all sorts of things. And I don't, do we just then redirect the residents to call the non-emergency Venice number for that at that point, instead of calling the gatehouse?
Well, you have to call it out emergency number anyways, the gatehouse doesn't do anything.
Gatehouse won't do
All right,
anything
then-
anyway.
Okay.
yeah, the guards aren't,
Sundays are fine.
they're instructed not to cross the sidewalks
Okay.
and to, when they see a fish or somebody fishing, whatever, Tony, because he's basically the one that's qualified to do most of that, he'll go out and talk to a fisherman like these kids over here. But everybody else really isn't, and we don't want them to. We're encouraged to they'll call the police to come in and trespass and those type, or a resident,
All right. Well, then I'm okay. with
Rich has got
trying-
them on speed dial.
I'm okay with trying this. I think we
Yeah,
should try it.
I'm okay with trying this then.
I'm just not crazy about nothing on Sunday at all, nighttime.
There's still somebody in the house, in the guardhouse. I mean,
So we need
Do
to
you
reach
want,
out.
do you want to pick up the rover at 10 PM and have them do the night shift? We can add that. I mean, we don't have to exclude it. We could say the morning shift and the afternoon shift, and then pick up again 10 PM on Sunday night.
Yeah, I mean,
That would make more
I
sense
would
to you.
I would like to have somebody here driving through the night,
Okay,
I understand, Rich,
yeah, that makes sense.
So then it would be not exactly as we said, but we just have
and
them pick up at 10 PM
especially
Sundays.
in off-season, when there's a lot less people around,
Yeah,
to watch out for your neighbor's
Okay.
house, you want somebody driving around.
sure. I'm good with that.
So
Cool.
I guess the next step is to talk to Allied and see
Get a
what they think,
proposal.
and then.
Right.
get a
Based on
proposal.
whatever the proposal is, we can make a contract addendum
Yes.
off of that.
Yes. Okay.
so who's gonna talk to Ally?
I can talk with Allied, I can get Ryan in and tell him the schedule that we're looking at, would like to have, and to send Belinda a new proposal off of that.
And you work with Ken on that.
Yes, Ken, I sent both of those that we did. We sent them to Ken but Ken and I'll have another discussion about this sometime this week, and then I'll get Ryan in and we'll tell him that we want Sundays at 10
You're
PM.
just talking from now until October 1st?
I think we should do it as a total addendum and see what happens. We
Yeah.
can always undo the addendum.
Yeah. The addendum to current contract as opposed to rewriting the entire contract.
Exactly.
Right, yeah. Okay. Does that make sense?
Just trying to understand, you're talking about eliminating the third shift rather than the second shift from now until October 1st, or?
No,
Second shift.
No, the second shift, what we talked about, Ken.
2 to 10.
Okay, that's what we had to put in the budget.
Right.
Elimination of it is in the
Yeah,
budget?
2 to 10.
Yeah,
There's a
2 to 10.
$50,000 decrease.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Keith, whatever you end up working out with them, like we said, if you just get it to me, I can prepare a contract again.
Well, if that's in if that's in there now, and I'm gonna go back and tell them we need to add Sunday one shift, that's gonna raise our budget, isn't it? We
Right,
can't
that's why I'm
raise it
asking.
higher, we gotta keep it at where it's at or lower.
Well,
I thought the 50,000.
it's not line by line, you can find the money somewhere else. I mean, if it was an extra $5,000, you guys decided to take that 5,000 out of contingency, I mean, that still works.
Okay.
I just made that up.
Well, we find out the prices are both ways, so we can make a decision.
We did,
We have the price one way.
We do.
we think what was option 2,
Yes.
With 66.
eliminate the second shift, 2 to 10, and all day Sunday, all 3 shifts. That's what we put in the budget.
And that was a
It
$60,000.
$66,000 reduction.
It turned out to be 52.
I'm with Cheryl. I think let's try it. It's not like we're, closing the door behind us. I don't disagree.
So I'm with Rich on the fact that we should pick up the 10 PM shift on Sunday night. And not eliminate it completely. That would be the only shift I would want to keep.
Can we get the price on what it would be adding 10 PM to it would be at 6 AM in the morning, right? That's the morning shift is 6 to 2.
Correct.
So if what's the increment to go 10 PM Sunday? I'd like to just know what the number is.
At 8 hours for one head count. Because that's what it
We
really
kind of know what it
represents.
is, don't we?
Yeah,
Just
we-
go back and calculate.
Yeah, we should be able to go back and calculate it. So I don't know what the rate is, that 8-hour shift, because it's a night shift.
So it sounds like we have more work to do on this item.
Okay, I'll wait.
You think?
But Keith can get us some numbers. I think it's a good time to stop the evening. Even if we just addended to stop the evening one and leave the Sunday one in. This is a nice time to try it and see how it goes.
So stop evening but keep Sunday,
Keep Sunday.
Keep one shift.
because that's in the current budget that we're operating under.
Now, we're getting rid of the second shift,
The 2 PM to 10 PM.
the 2 PM to 10 PM, not the evening shift.
No, I get it, but what I'm saying is we're in the current fiscal year that's funded at the current level, so we could save the money for.
Yeah, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why did we choose to pick an entire day? I missed that part.
I missed that part too.
I mean, we had all
recall that
talked
either.
about
I don't recall that
evenings,
either.
2 to 10, eliminating the rover. How did we get to, I just don't know, how did we get to this, eliminate the
I
rover?
don't remember all day Sunday, that's why I just mentioned that.
Ken, can you help?
I think the feeling was Sunday, there's just a lot less activity.
It was the lack of vendors, something. I
But I
swear we did, but
I
I have to go back and look at the.
But I missed the Sunday overnight conversation.
Well, but we are where we are, right?
Yes,
So
yeah.
I think Cheryl's right.
I think I would say we move forward, we eliminate the 2 PM to 10 PM every day, and we can eliminate the daytime on Sunday, but leave all of the, whatever you want to call it, graveyard shift, the late one, in place.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what
So if
I'm
we
saying.
can get that
Yep.
amendment, then we can try it for the
Right.
summer months before our next budget cycle and
Yes.
see, and before our budget hearing and see how it's going.
Okay, so if you get a proposal,
Right, so
I'll
you
try
want to add,
an addendum on it.
add back the Sunday third shift.
Yes.
Correct, yes.
Yes.
So that's your motion?
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
Long way to get there.
I'm sitting next door.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Awesome.
I didn't hear Ken.
Ken?
Is he in favor or are you against Ken?
Ken?
No, no,
No what?
You're a no?
no, not in favor.
Okay.
Okay.
So motion carries 4 in favor, 1 against. So we're gonna move into the La Sala project update.
Yes, okay, so, I don't need to take up a ton of time because obviously this, is gonna take a lot more discussion. I have a couple of things, I emailed one of these to Ken so he would have it. The other thing here is something that you all, already have. But I wanted to just give you a couple updates where we are. The first item, and I'll pass this stuff out in a second. Ken, this is the Excel, I'll be getting to the Excel sheet that I emailed you that's a possible very rough timetable. But I wanted to let you know, the architect who you all met last summer, John Swidrak, has gone out on his own, not totally unexpected. He was with AODK, TA Krebs, for about 20 years. It doesn't change anything for us at all. He's leaving on great terms with them. It was just time for him to head out and do his own thing. So, and we fulfilled our contract with them. So it's not like we're betwixt and between. We did get a second estimate in hand from Jamie Selby. It's Bob Raffato, we got it Friday. Bob Raffato did a quick back of the envelope, and it's very close to the same number. It's about $75,000 higher. Bob will get something to you that's a little bit deeper of an analysis, because there were some things, for example, in the first rough estimate where we had a huge contingency, et cetera. So, but we do have the second estimate. Jamie said he could get us another estimate, if we felt we needed to. So anyway, we can have a chat about that. But I wanted to pass out to you guys, and I do have some extras. This is one copy, one small pack of subset of sheets from the package that you all received from the Sala work group in April. That was, I wanted to just remind everybody of what the next steps were on the estimates, et cetera. This is all something you've seen before. There are a bunch of little bits and pieces that have to happen. But I wanted to just give that to everybody as a quick reminder. The second thing, and this is an Excel spreadsheet with, did I give you mine? There we go. I'll keep them anyway. Is a rough estimate of what the timeline is. Oh, sorry, I know I have an extra one somewhere. Yeah, okay. We don't have to go through this in detail, and I prefer we actually don't go through it in detail. I'd like you all to be able to just think about it along with the to-do pages, if you will, from that April package. Because I think there are some things that we need to talk about when this is on a workshop where we can sort of noodle it out loud. I can give you a copy if you want to. Darlene, I think I have an extra here if you want to take this.
I was going to make it.
No, that's okay. No, these are extras. Here you go. If anybody else wants one, we can have what I have. I mean, some of the key, there's really a few key decisions that we have to make. If you look at that timeline, one of the next steps is now that we have a second estimate, and the board has agreed that we could look at, that we'd be funding a set of drawings. We need to look at those and set some meetings. We would need to get a designer's help in that, and that is in the cost estimates that we have for our budget. I think we should think about the overall timeframe, because the critical piece here is assuming that we're going forward. We need to settle on a number and at least for rough terms, and think about what the funding would be. And then finally, obviously, communications with the residents, so we can give people a chance to have a look at what's contemplated and give people a chance to weigh in. So there's an awful lot to discuss, and I don't think we have time to do it today. I wanted to just give you the timetable because I think it will all help us all think about what needs to happen next.
Can I make a suggestion for
Sure.
the next spreadsheet that we do here?
Sure.
Can we just call this month 0?
Sure, absolutely.
Instead of dates and years?
Sure.
And the reason I want to do that is because we don't know when 0 month is going to be.
No, look, I
right?
get it, I get it.
And then we can just go out from there,
Yeah.
because if we provide information like this, there's gonna be a lot of questions. So I would like to just call those, like, here's where it starts, month 0.
No, look, absolutely,
Okay.
and it's, because it's already very aggressive.
And also being, working, for someone who's worked in construction, this is.
But let me tell you something, Bob literally on Saturday night at like 6:30 PM.
Together.
I was like, because he gave me
Yeah.
2 pages of text and I
No,
said.
no, again, this.
I may be drunk,
this-
but I'm
this
not
is-
following
This
it.
is extremely aggressive.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said that.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I think,
Okay.
I think the main thing is the elements, the very, very rough elements are there. But, I think for me, just, if I can just get this out, in my head, I think I've had a lot of questions from people about the number and funding, and obviously from Ken saying, what are the optionalities in there in order for us to be able to adjust the number? At some point, we're gonna have to make a start.
Yes.
And that, at least in my head, is gonna mean landing on a starting number and saying, okay, this is a starting number, what are we doing with this? Because that's how we start to talk about funding, Ken, where are we getting the funds?
And is the finance committee going to, Ken, is that the idea, is the finance committee is going to come to us with some proposals, or I just would like to understand how that happens.
Once we know more, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mean a number.
I mean,
But a proposal on a method, once you have a number. So the number gets established, and you'll propose a method.
Or methods.
Or
Methods,
methods,
plural.
right, so you're not gonna modify the number or make recommendations, the board's gonna come in with a number to you.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
we're not
Okay, thank you,
placed to do that.
thank you, okay.
Yeah, because I think in my head, I'd like to understand better what the bottlenecks are and what we have to do. I mean, there's a lot of things on the steps, but when I look at it, in my head, I still think the rate limiting factor is what's the number? What are the factors that would affect the number?
Right.
Because I take Ken's point about what the optionalities are, because that's going to inform, what the number is. And that informs how it gets funded.
well,
Yeah.
but I also think even before you even look at that, when we did the pizza oven, we had Bernard do an analysis of how much pizza. We're nowhere near that.
No, we're not,
So-
and Hampton has to weigh in
So-
on
so
the
Hampton-
operation
So I
stuff.
think we need Hampton to come in, because if Hampton says we're gonna spend $1.8 million and only increase revenue by $5,000 a month, that's gonna be a tough sell.
Well, yeah.
If they tell us we can increase revenue by $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month, or more, and with these grand plans of having more outdoor events using the lawn or whatever, and there's a great payback for that, that's a lot easier, so.
Well,
Yes.
what I'd like to do, and I didn't write it down, which means I didn't say it, is at our next workshop, see if Jamie could join either in person or on the phone. I'd also like to have Bob Rufato on because he's the person in the group who knows far and away the most about this, and get Jamie's input, because the Hampton operational input is critical. You're absolutely right, Rick. So if you're okay with that, very quiet.
No, it's because the Hampton operational input is critical, I think. I think this is, yeah. And
Agreed.
And then, I'm still unsure of exactly what designs we're looking at and what the original plans are gonna be, because if we're following this basically means the solid designs as is are the designs that we're going to.
Yeah, no, look, there's no way.
Right, that's why I said you gotta
So-
change this to month zero.
But even still, even to have only 2 months of that discussion.
But-
Okay.
That's why this needs to be month zero.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, let me get with Jamie.
But even your timelines are short, I think is what Rich is saying.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
no,
And I
Yes,
agree.
agree.
If you're on zero, this is
Yeah.
right. This
No,
is
no,
gonna
this
happen.
8 weeks, no doubt about it, and that's.
8 weeks for to sit down with the designer and the architect and figure out what the furniture is gonna be, what the design of the building is
No,
gonna be,
it's-
it's.
And look, maybe it's probably my bad for even
I'm sorry.
No.
giving it to you,
No.
but I.
No, I'm
You
not
gotta-
giving it.
I
you
asked,
have to
yeah.
start somewhere.
gotta-
well,
yeah.
you do,
Yeah.
and,
No, I appreciate it, you have to start
Yeah.
somewhere.
Oh, back
So,
over
at
there,
least
They
it starts
sprayed it last
mapping it out, so you
Well, I
have
think
something
that's-
to look at.
It takes
I think that's right.
Then you build off of that, if you don't have anything to look at, you build off of that.
I think that's right, and I feel like it's been hard to sort of get over this speed bump. So, how do we get to the next thing?
Yeah.
So,
And I think maybe the next thing is also bringing back the plan.
Yeah.
The plan, so we all know which one we're talking about.
Right,
There
yeah.
were several, and I think
Yeah.
I know which one.
I think
Now
I
I'm
know
not
which
sure.
one.
yeah, no, look, absolutely, and a lot of it got tabled because
Been a long time ago.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it was, Justin was still around the last time we talked about it, so.
And then the problem we have is, in a couple of months, we're gonna have potentially 2 new members up here.
Yeah, you're right.
This is always the problem, right? I mean, this is the perennial problem, but, we've also been, this is not the first board that's considered this either. This is
No,
the second
no,
board
yeah.
that's considered it.
Yes.
So, anyway, let me get with Jamie first, and I am happy to send around to you, I think if you go back to the April 8th document that these extracted pages came from, I believe the Central Bar Plan is in there, and that's the one that we had talked
That's
about.
the one I thought.
Is that the
Yes.
one that's posted on the CDD site?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
April 8th.
April 8th.
Yeah.
Okay, that is the one then.
So
All
anyway,
right.
I appreciate you letting me kind of ramble and bumble on there with this. It's not something that was ever in my wheelhouse when I was working. Anyway, I will get with Jamie and propose something for the June 22 meeting. So,
Don't forget, we have nothing in the 27 operating budget that reflects any of this other than
The architect.
what we approved.
correct.
The architect.
Yes.
That's absolutely right.
That is correct.
Yep, that's absolutely understood. Yep. My understanding though is that any drawings would be handled from, what we thought we talked about was, it would be handled from the River Club reserves, and then we would, then that gets expensed once the project's operationalized, right?
Well, not reserves, balance sheet.
Balance sheet. Oh, that's a balance sheet item, okay.
And then we also have, into this, we have to then add the dining room, the hallways, potentially the locker rooms, and all the other things that
Right.
become a solid that'll be affected by all of this.
Well, yeah, and that's
which-
part of what we
Yeah.
have to discuss.
Yeah.
Because part of this, I'm kind of saying this for the record too, is that, that there's a sequencing thing here. And there's also frankly the issue of, you know, if this is all being touched, you know, how do we manage our revenues through that, so revenues aren't impacted, there's that critical piece of it.
Rather than
And
our own
staff.
staff. And even though it's a balance sheet issue, Ken, if the project then does not proceed, it becomes an income statement issue.
It does become an income statement issue.
Exactly.
Yeah, it does, absolutely.
All right, so
Yeah, well, that was my
supervisors,
point
the 3-hour
about
mark.
the budget. It deals with the operating impact.
Okay, we gotta go.
Well, I think, you know, we've crossed the Rubicon now, so, at least on the budget, so I think we're gonna have to discuss it on the 22nd and figure out how we go forward with it, but I will ask Jamie if he can join, and we'll figure it out from there. Okay. Okay? Right.
Perfect. All right, so moving on, we do have the review and consideration of the proposals for the kitchen equipment. This is behind tab number 6 for your review.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically for this, we're just looking for the board to give us, you know, I don't know, how to approve something now, so when we get to the vendor, we can then, because otherwise we have to wait a month to go to a contract. What we need to do is sit down with these two vendors and verify the turnkey notion of this. The original vendor was just equipment, and it was, we'll take out the person was just, here's your equipment. They said, no, we need to have the old equipment taken out. Okay, we'll drop it in the back of the building, but it's still up to you to dispose of it. And okay, then we can install the equipment, but then we won't hook it up. And then we won't test it.
So where are we now?
So right now, we're trying to get one of these two vendors to give us a full turnkey. So it's in, complete, and tested and working. It seems to be, it's gonna be a little bit more complicated than we thought, which goes back to the question Tim had, are we gonna close down for this season? Because if we can't get it all done in 2 days, we're basically closed down anyway because we don't have kitchen equipment. So we're trying to make sure that everything is installed, plumbed, gas lines working, and then turned on and calibrated so everything is working. So when the chef comes in, whatever day that is, it's all the responsibility of one person, because if it's not that way, we know who to go to, because we don't want a salamander situation.
Right.
Where it's sitting on the floor for 9 months and then it's installed by.
So what do you need from us?
I just want to vote, you know, if we take these numbers, and let's say, you know, one's about 190, one's about 102. If we.
No,
190?
One is 90.
One is 90, the other's 100,
One is 100.
the other's 102. So if we get not to exceed 115 furnished, installed, done, we're gonna go back and try to negotiate these down, but I want to verify that all these pieces are together in terms of install and calibration and functionality.
So facilities is not recommending one of these over the other.
They both seem competent. The question is, who can get us what we need? The one Don, who is the
It's a Hampton preferred vendor.
was the Hampton preferred vendor. Hampton supposedly has another vendor that can do that work, which we then have to reach out to, you know, to do the final hookups and calibrations. We need to verify who's gonna do what and how it's all gonna get done. So we're still in a little bit of a flux, but both vendors seem competent.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why won't you go through that and bring us a final proposal that we
I
can
can,
approve?
we can do that. It's gonna take a few more weeks. We thought we'd try to get moving on it. We can be more than happy to do that.
I mean, I would be more comfortable
That's-
knowing who we're going with and why,
That's
and
fine.
having negotiated
Yeah, unless
now.
there's some sort of.
We're meeting
emergency or
every-
something, I don't know.
We're not
Well, too much
doing
money.
money.
Well,
Yes. So I actually do have a question,
Yes.
a couple of questions as well. So yeah, I agree with Cheryl. I would like to see you guys consolidate it down if you could
Sure.
to one. But my other question is in regard to a shutdown, because I agree with you, this is gonna shut us down.
Would shut down.
Is it Hampton, is that an operational decision that they would make then to close the River Club? Or is it a decision that has to come from the board?
I think this Hampton operational thing, I mean,
Historically, it's come from your management company.
It would come from the management company. So if the management company chose to close down the River Club from like July 15th to the 22nd, or whatever
We've done
timeline.
that before.
Yeah, I know we have, I
Yeah,
just
we've
wasn't
always
sure
done
whether
that.
it was something we needed to do or Hampton should come to us with it. I
No,
just wanted clarification.
the
Yeah.
management-
That's that orchestrated.
Yeah, they've always done that to clean, you know, when you clean the meeting, whatever, and which also now brings up, if we do the ceiling tile in the kitchen, that can get done, you know.
And I'm just wondering what else we can get done in that week if that's what we decide to do. Then my other question is what is the installation timeline on this? And are we waiting on any type of gas permits or anything else from the city because we have to rehook gas lines and things like that? That's all figured in there?
Well, that's why we want a turnkey.
Okay,
Because we don't want to be responsible for,
correct.
you know.
Okay.
Because one guy said, okay, we'll install the equipment, but you've got to do the gas hookups. I said, okay, what happens if the equipment is up on the wall and now my gas line is here, but the
Right.
hookup is down there?
Right.
And now I've got to take the equipment down to move the pipe. We don't want to be involved in that situation.
Okay.
We want, no, here's our kitchen, here's our equipment, here's your money.
Go do your job.
Go do your job.
Okay,
And I
okay.
want to come in on Wednesday, turn it on,
Right.
Have it work.
and have it work.
Yes.
And if it
got it.
doesn't work, it's your problem and you don't have your money.
Right.
As opposed to one of these again.
Got it.
I think what I would appreciate, because I think you have the expertise on the committee, is that sometimes cheapest isn't always
Oh.
best.
Oh, we're not going-
So all I'm saying is, that.
No, we're
and-
not going cheapest, we're looking for a person who can complete the project. So
Okay.
if it costs more to complete the project with one person versus doing it 3 people, we're probably gonna go to the person who could do the one project, because again, we're not looking to be
Right.
cheap, we're looking to do it right and make sure
That's the
that
point.
one
Okay,
person's
okay, just want to
responsible.
say,
So you'll be back.
We will be back.
Thank
And
you.
Okay, and the reason, and Tim had alluded to the fryer situation.
Yeah.
The reason we're not doing the fryer, that we have 2 double fryers. The fryer that we proposed to get was a single fryer, so it was only half as big as the ones we have now. And then that whole thing is in a line, the line is under the vent, is under the hood, and with the fire suppression. That would have pushed us over the fire suppression, which means we're having to do the whole new hood and change the fire suppression completely for a single fryer that can maybe do some french fries.
Got it.
We didn't think that was a smart move. Also would have pushed everything down toward one piece of equipment next to the range. One of the quotes we added was, one of the vendors said, the range, that piece of equipment is getting hot because you can see burn marks on it, so we're putting a burn shield on it.
Okay, cool.
So instead of pushing everything up against it and squeezing the fryer, we're gonna try to push everything away from it with the burn shield to help protect the equipment.
Okay,
All right,
sounds
cool.
good. Thank you for all the work.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So we will be back with all.
Okay, thanks.
Moving forward, we do have item number 7A, which is the consideration of the minutes of the Board of Supervisors meeting held on May 11th.
Credit card resolution? Do we need, if we're gonna do that, do we need to do that before we move on to the business administration stuff, or does it matter? Can we do it at the end?
We can do it during business, it's fine.
Okay. So I mentioned to the other supervisors, we wanted to have, a credit card, organized for the River Club through First Horizon, who is our, finding my notes on it, is our bank, for the River Club. And they're gonna need evidence in the minutes that we've approved the credit card. So,
What happens to the existing credit cards that were?
they were just turned in and that was the end of it. We actually kept the same account number. But I've talked to the bank, in order to do this, they need a motion.
No, that's fine.
So it talks about, who the signer's gonna be, I think that's by title versus by name. What the limit or limits are. I would like to see 2 cards, one which is a $10,000 limit. So for example, if, there's coffee spilled all over the carpet on a Sunday and Stanley Steamer needs to come in and it's $6,000, we faced that before actually, and they want to get paid on the spot. This way somebody can just give them a credit card and then it's done. I also would like to get a second called a secured credit card, which is essentially a cash card or almost like a P card where it's loaded with a certain dollar value. So if the staff has to go buy Kramer or Carnations or something up at Publix, they can do it, but it's a low risk because it's a small number. Belinda and I talked about safeguards for it. So anybody who would be signing would, it's essentially like a little agreement on behalf of the person signing, you know, I'm only using this as for business expense, you know, et cetera. So I think you have that with the Rosetta cards that you use. So what have I missed, Belinda? Anything?
You do have a resolution in place that I think Hampton should be aware of. It's a spending resolution and it provides the authority for the manager to spend up until, I believe it's, I want to say non-reoccurring expenses. I think it's up to $10,000 with approval from the chair or vice chair along with the district manager.
Yeah.
I think that with your motion, you should also include some sort of verbiage that Hampton needs to be aware of what those limitations are, as well as any credit card expenditures should have all of the proper receipts attached to them.
That was my only concern.
Yeah, okay.
So that when, you know, I don't know if there's been further conversation with Hampton about providing the board with some sort of a summary on expenditures, kind of like what you have in your packet now. I know we've talked about it in the past. That way, you avoid confusion as to, you know, okay, the credit card was paid on this month, but where's the backup documentation? If it's on a report, you get to see it. If you have a question, you can ask for the documentation on it. But that's just a suggestion.
I think that's good, and I think it should say must have.
We definitely had issues.
Yes, and I don't expect to have those again, and, you know, and to give a guy a card for $500 and assume he's gonna go do something nefarious, I mean, you can just easily walk through the entire club and
Well, I get it, but that doesn't,
$10,000 and walk at the back
help the
door.
publics when they
No,
have to go by.
No, what I'm saying is to not trust the person to use the credit card is when they can walk through the entire club and empty us out.
Well,
Of
yeah,
merchandise.
I
So
hear you,
it's,
but maybe I just come from too large of a corporation, but, you know, I had to pledge that I wasn't gonna steal corporate properties.
I get that.
And had to sign a thing at the end of the year that said I didn't steal any property. So then I'm gonna make a motion. I should name the financial institution, shouldn't I? Or do I need to? Yeah. So I'm gonna make a motion that the board approve 2 credit cards for First Horizon Bank, one with a limit of $10,000 and one that's a secured card for $500. And the signers would be the River Club general manager or his or her designee. How would I work in the resolution piece? Because I already talked about the limits, according to the resolution.
You would just say, I would just state for the record that the expenditures, meaning the usage of the card, needs to be within what is approved in the resolution.
Okay, so the usage of the card needs to be within the scope of the board resolution. I think it was 2016-001, if I remember correctly.
I have that one with me. I wasn't sure if there's a
Let's see if I was
updated one.
right.
It is 2016-01.
Yes.
Non-continuing River Club expenses,
Non-continuing River Club.
not exceeding $1,000 occurred by with approval of the River Club general manager.
Okay, perfect, okay. And then
I didn't know if that was the most up-to-date one or not.
It is.
And then non-continuing expenses between $1,000 and $5,000 pursuant to a contract agreement reviewed and approved by district council and incurred by and with approval of the River Club general manager and the chair or vice chair in the chair's absence. That's what we currently have on the book.
yes, I guess we should have in the motion, even though the bank wouldn't necessarily need it. Use of either card, has a requirement that receipts must be submitted for all expenditures.
Correct.
Okay. That's my motion.
That's Bill's motion, and there's a second.
Can you repeat it?
No problem.
I second it.
Any further discussion?
Oh. Should we open it up, see if anybody has any comments on just this
Oh,
one
yeah,
issue?
that's right.
Any
Any views on
comments?
corporate credit
Public
cards,
comments on
Steve?
this one issue?
Any view?
No? Okay,
All right.
we're good.
Okay.
I'm gonna call the vote. All those in favor, please state aye.
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 Thank you, Kim.
All right, so moving back to the minutes, we do have the minutes of the Board of Supervisors meeting held on May 11th, 2026. For your consideration, these are behind tab number 7 for your review. Are there any questions, comments, and/or changes to the minutes as presented?
Nope.
If there are no questions, comments, and/or changes, we'd be looking for a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Cindy, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jill. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye.
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 Thank you. We now have item number 6B, which is the consideration of the operations and maintenance expenditures for the month of April 2026. These are behind tab number 8 for your review. Any questions?
I was just curious about the hub replacement, Don Moore. That might be a question for Keith. What, did Dan drive through a pothole or something?
No, I mean, that golf cart gets a lot of
I know.
usage
That's just
and,
what it was for, right?
yes.
That's all I
Yeah,
need to know.
and we saved $800 by doing that.
Okay, understood. I just figured that's what it was, but felt I needed to ask. Okay.
I had one question. The two solitude payments, February, the late monthly maintenance for February. So are we behind in terms of what's already reported in the operating statements?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
So solitude, there's
yeah.
one for
Solitude.
February and one for April. So are we behind?
Was it the April? Yeah, so my question was, what happened to March?
I'd have to check, Ken. I don't have, the deal in front of me now, but I can go back and check.
Okay, I just want to make sure we didn't miss something.
Okay.
And my only comment I'm gonna go back to, and it's a little bit hard now because we don't have a manager, but he's Comcast.
This is for,
I know, but I'm
Oh,
saying,
okay.
there's gotta be a way to consolidate
Yeah.
some of this
Agreed.
somehow, so it's Park Rosetta, it's mostly River Club Hampton, but how do we,
I know.
who's gonna be put in charge of getting this done?
I'll do it. You guys have enough
You know
to
who's
do.
working on this?
Oh, David Moy.
Yes. David Moy was gonna
Okay.
work with Greg.
Okay.
So, but he's up north.
Oh, well, you know, let me
So-
contact David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, I've done telecommunications too, I mean, you know,
Well, do you prefer?
David worked for AT&T.
oh, perfect, done,
So-
okay, even better, okay.
So do you want it, are you saying you want to do it?
No,
Which is up to you.
if David can do it, and he's,
I'll find out from David when he starts report back.
Yeah.
I just want somebody to finally do this, because I brought this up
Yep, I know
before I
you
became a
did.
supervisor.
Yeah, I've been bringing it up before you got on the
Yeah,
board.
so that's what I'm saying, yeah, so it's been a long time.
I'll check
and-
with David and report back at the meeting on the 22nd, when I find out from David. Cool.
And I think all the combined phone,
Yeah.
and whatever, somewhere like
It's in the
25,
tens of
30,000,
thousands.
Yeah, it's- yeah.
$30,000,
Yeah.
which is,
expensive.
just seems obscene.
I
Yeah,
agree.
And silly, yeah, yes. Yep, okay.
Any other questions?
Nope.
All right, then we'd be looking for a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion by Jill, second by Cheryl. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye.
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 Thank you. We're now going to move into consent items. We do have 6 items for your acceptance. These are behind tab number 9 for your review.
I'll make the motion to accept.
Motion by Jill, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Cindy. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye.
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 Supervisor requests or comments? Are there any supervisor requests or comments?
I have a comment. It's in regard to the fact that we asked for a structural engineer to look at the roof before we made any movement on that. I know, I'm assuming that this is something that Greg had started. Does anybody have any info on that?
No, but I'll look into that.
Okay.
I'm guessing it may not have gone anywhere,
I
so.
remember that you had gotten some contacts from me, just.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I'll talk to Bill
It's my only comment.
Colgan. Rich, do you guys must want to be, your committee must want to be involved in that.
I'd be more than happy to be involved. I mean,
Okay.
because-
Well, you're not on the committee though, it should be
because-
Tim.
Because Greg, I'll tell Tim, because Greg told us Ken was working on it.
The engineer?
No, Greg told us Ken was.
Ken's mom.
Ken's
Ken's
mom.
mom?
Yeah.
Can be.
Yeah.
Ken, what's wrong with you?
Ken?
You know,
How's that roof inspection going from here?
This is
Yeah,
why,
from
this
up
is
there.
why we,
Yeah.
this is why we walk around in a circle half the day long, not knowing what's going on, but yes, we'd be more than happy to. We were surprised that Ken was involved in it because of, I guess, because it was a reserve.
Okay.
I just don't want to lose sight of it. I think it's important.
Well, let me see what I can find out, and then based on that, I can turn it over to Tim then.
Yes,
and then
please.
that way I'm not
Yes.
writing such
Thank
a
you.
long. Okay.
Please.
Ken's out there right now.
Yeah, can't get off that road. Yeah, speaking of Ken though, so, Bill Colgan, our interim, had mentioned to me that TTA invoiced for, I think, one of the two standing charges that we have with them. Ken, you said you don't have your file up there. I'll do some digging and see what I can see, but it looks like it's about a $15,000 charge, I think, for the, it wasn't hosted, I think it was something else. One of the two standing charges that we have that run, what, about $33,000 a year for that? Together?
Again, I don't have that
Okay.
with me because I haven't been involved in it for 2 years now.
Carol would have that though, right? Carol's gonna be able to see
Yeah.
the past invoices. All right, I'll,
Is that for
Yes.
TTA, the support that we use for Jonas? Is that the
Yes.
same TTA?
yes, we're paying.
They are the ones who installed it.
Okay, yes, but I didn't know we had
We
an.
basically bought it through them.
Uh-huh,
And there's a hosting cost and a maintenance cost or something,
Well,
right?
and the other question,
Right.
like,
Wait, hang on.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ken.
The answer is yes. Yes, as I emailed,
okay.
yes.
And like I said, I brought up at the last meeting, if we're basically only using Jonas for food ordering and court reservations.
And Lap Lane and
Yeah,
Glass, I agree.
I mean, is there a less expensive, because it's no longer
Well,
being
that's a
used
question for
for our
another day.
operations thing. That's something we should look at. Is
So,
it useful anymore?
I will
don't
tell you
know.
this, just a quick sidebar, the Racket Sports and Matt are talking with Club Essentials because of the pitfalls that Jonas has with the reservations for the tennis courts. So I don't know, I mean, do you want their information? Do you need anything from them?
I don't know.
Background? No?
I don't need any, I just want,
Okay.
my question just is, it really is a Hampton issue. The only thing left then would be food ordering. You know, would
Right.
be reservation, would be reservations.
The POS.
Because
Well, I
if-
think we have to get
because
the
it-
bill paid,
Yeah.
and if we want to address it differently, I think we should wait until, we have the new GM. I'm happy to talk to, we can talk to Jamie about it and maybe Bill, but.
Yeah, I would just start the conversation, because like I said, if we're just using it for a POS system, it's a very expensive POS system.
Well, I hear
And a
you.
reservation system, those are the two things that we're
I
using
hear
for it
you.
now. I
But-
totally
but-
get it,
but-
I get it.
but replace the reservation.
Well, I think it is more than reservations. I think it is POS.
POS and
Yeah,
reservations, those are,
yeah,
those
that's
two
it.
things
But they're not using any of the accounting software or any of those other things, so
anymore.
There may be modules that could be turned off.
that's.
I
Exactly.
still think we have to get the
But
bill.
that's only because Hampton chose not to use them.
Exactly.
Yes.
Vesta was using them.
And we thought they were
So
gonna be
we
used
put a
for
lot of
that.
money into that.
Right, okay. Well, I can, let me get that discussion.
During the interview process, we even brought that up and said, would you be using, are you familiar with it? And with the expectation that they would be using it.
Yeah, I was shocked also when they said that, when we found out they weren't using it, and did everything on QuickBooks.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I think in the interim, we probably have to go ahead and get that paid because I believe we got a discount for the, the annual rate. I mean, Let me talk to probably Bill Rahanick, since he's the operations guy. And just get his thoughts maybe before we pay that, but I think it's due. So, we got a bill to pay. All righty, that's all I have.
Any other supervisory requests or comments? All right, it is 1:21 PM. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second, whatever.
Motion by Jill, second by Cheryl. All in favor, please state aye.
We can't discuss it first?
If you want to stay here, you can, Rich.
So I don't want to hang up on you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everybody.
saying so long.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I hope you have, and I hope you have a beautiful day, and see you, and tell them I said hello.